Welcome. We are the Shank Club NFL. That threw you, Carl, didn't it? You weren't expecting the old school style.
Did someone copyright you or something?
No, I just felt like playing that for a change because I'll play the other intro as an outro. But I just thought I'd, go old school. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good morning, wherever you're watching. Week 3, Shank Club, NFL. We got some good guests coming on when they actually look to see that I've sent them the link, hopefully. But as usual, I am joined by my sidekick who spent a few days in a nunnery, well, ex-nunnery, and he didn't pick up any bad habits. Yes, it's a shit joke, but I can't help it. Carl, good afternoon. How are you?
We spent 3 days in an abbey, okay? Not a nunnery, in an abbey, and it was really, really nice as well. No, I'm good, thank you, mate. Yeah, a few days off, been really, really pleasant, but got cracked back on with the Week 3 prediction show last night, which is up on my channel as we speak. And just looking forward to another week of NFL coming up. Some really interesting games coming up. And our fantasy league is going incredibly well. Although I would say not for me because I've literally had the worst start I could possibly have. But I digress. Let's crack on with this show.
Sorry, I had to cough then, and it would have been rude of me to cough in the microphone. So glad you had some time away with your girlfriend. Obviously, it has been the first time since all of the COVID stuff happened, so it is good to get away. Excellent. Don't forget to, if you are watching, hit that like, subscribe button for us. See down there. And hit that notification button as well so you know when we're going live, even though we go live now on a Wednesday evening at 7:30. But obviously our main show that we do is always Saturday, 2:30, 9:30 Eastern. Carl, talking of fantasy, come on, let's see what went on last week. Who were the winners, big winners and big losers in the Shank Club NFL Fantasy League?
Well, the biggest loser is right here because I've sucked so badly. Right, so here we go then. Obviously it's on my page. We're going to start with my matchup, and well done to Josh, the Miami Dolphins UK guy. He beat me by just over 9 points. But if you actually look a little bit more closely of his points that his players scored, Graham Gano, the kicker, 22 points. I'm sorry, but that is one of the fucking worst ways to lose a fantasy matchup, is losing to a kicker. It really, really is. Further on down, Tristan has now gone 2-0. He actually smacked the living hell out of Wayne Breezy, 112 to 89 points. A big day for him. And again, the kicker had another outstanding game. This was Daniel Carson for the Raiders. It seems like the kickers are actually having their own way this time. Well done to the posh Steeler himself. He managed to get a win over James, 132.7 to 121.92. Kyler Murray had an absolutely outstanding game for them. He also had Mike Williams, the Chargers receiver, and Najee Harris as well. James didn't really have a bad game. Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, and the Buffalo defense special teams, but unfortunately wasn't enough to beat him. But look at this game we got down here. Andy from DC Tweet Team, what a matchup between him and John V. 167 to 162. Brilliant end-to-end stuff, with John V having Aaron Jones, Lamar Jackson, and TJ Hockenson picking up big points. But when you've got Derrick Henry in your lineup, you're going to get some major, major points in that one as well. He had Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Rodgers in that time frame. And now Andy has got the win he needed for that one. And then moving on further down, I just need to scroll down here. There we go. Matt from EDF Sports beat the Mr. Smug himself beat him by 17 points. All thanks to Tom Brady, Tony McLaurin, and Mike Evans. Obviously, Scott will turn around and goes, yeah, but Christian McCaffrey went down. I don't care. You lost. Get over it. And Crystal Peachy, she is now 2-0. She beat Dion in a rather low-scoring game, 96.2 to 86.8. She had the New England Patriots defense, Keenan Allen and Ryan Tannehill. Dion had Devin Singletary, Josh Allen, and Deebo Samuel as his main players. So that is all we have for you there. So that means the undefeated players right now so far is Josh, Tristan, and Crystal Peachy. They're the only 3 players in this league now that are currently undefeated. So that's the update for this Shankland NFL League. I really have to get a win this week, otherwise I'm in major trouble.
And I believe this is Peachy's first season of doing fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I've seen her tweet that out. So yeah, 2-0.
I'm exact. I've been in her shoes exactly before, because my first ever season of playing in a fantasy league, which was about 4 years ago, in my local league, I won it. So maybe there's a little bit to that, but no, well done to Crystal. She's doing an amazing job. We roll on to week 3. Quite a lot of injuries as well. Dalvin Cook is certainly one to keep a close eye on. But yeah, well done to everyone, and commiseration to whoever lost, me included.
Definitely. Now, Thursday night football. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't had a chance. You watched it. There were some injuries. What do we know so far? Or what? Obviously, Panthers 3-0. Sam Darnold winning 3 games. And I know it was against the Texans, this one, but who would have predicted this, bearing in mind, well, he was with the Jets last year in the QB killer, Adam Gase, and he actually seems to have turned a bit of a corner. Obviously, CMC went out early. So, yeah, what did you see when you watched the highlights, Carl?
Davis Mills is a rookie, and it showed. It really showed. He was dinking and dunking most of his passes, mostly to Brandon Cooks, who probably is the only player really that you should really be taking in fantasy, if I'm honest with you. But Carolina, I thought they were very solid. Their offensive line protected Sam Darnold most of the time. Darnold threw for over 304 yards, 23 of 34 passes. He rushed for 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he rushed for 1, and then he QB sneaked another one. He's enjoying life in Carolina now, and Sam Darnold is actually playing at a very good level. We know what he was capable of. I mean, he showed little spurts at the Jets, but the problem was, though, it was because of Adam Gase. I look at where the Panthers are right now, but although Darnold has impressed me, this Panthers defense has really impressed me. They've given up 15 points to the Jets. They gave up 7 points to the New Orleans Saints, and now they gave up 9 to the Houston Texans. They've given up 30 points in the 3 games played so far. That's an average of 10 points a game that they're giving up on points allowed on defense. That is outstanding stuff. We all thought Carolina was going to be like a middle of the road team this year. They're still rebuilding, but they are actually causing a lot of teams problems. And I know we're going to turn to say, oh, but it was only the Jets in week 1. They're not very good. Oh, it was against the Saints who I don't know what happened. They just turned into Dr. Jekyll all of a sudden. They're not done anything at all. And obviously now they've gone and beat Houston, which, to be honest with you, most teams should beat Houston. So, but if you look at the Panther schedule, their schedule is actually quite weak. I think the only two matchups they should really be keeping a close eye on is when they have to play the Buccaneers twice. So for me, I thought the Panthers, they have been solid. They're 3-0. Congratulations. But I want to see them go up against a real competitive team next time round. I know if the Saints had their coordinators, they probably would have had a better game of it. But it's a little hard to put the spotlight on the Panthers yet. Defense, I will, because they've looked outstanding. But with Sam Darnold and coming up against a more inferior opposition, it's still little to be desired.
Definitely. I think, as you say, the jury is out with the Panthers at the moment, because like a lot of teams that maybe are 2-0 at the moment, you got to look at the opponents they faced. Obviously, they've gone 3-0, and it will be interesting down the line to see how, I won't say they're legit, and we all know what happened to Sam Darnold last year. Well, since he came into the league, so it will be interesting to see. I've also noticed as well, I don't know if you've seen it, that Ravens have hit problems again this week. Lamar Jackson is questionable because he's ill. Maybe you should go to the toilet, because that normally helps if you go to the toilet during the game and then you come out and ball out. And they've had 4 players put on the COVID or injured reserve list, whatever. Brandon Williams, what? See, now I should have realised this.
I know.
Should have realised these names, because I knew I was going to struggle. I'm just going to call him Jason Mad. Jason Mad, Justin Houston, and Javon Ferguson. Staley and Derek Wolfe are out as well. It's kind of like the injury bug that normally hits the 49ers and the Chargers is hitting the Ravens this year, and that's bound to make an impact on their season, especially if Lamar's out. It's obviously they hit their stride last week against the Chiefs, etc., and now they're coming up against this. So how do you see that panning out? Obviously, we are going to be doing picks, but how do you think this impacts their season? The longer the injury bug goes on, or can they win without Lamar Jackson? What's your thoughts?
I don't think they can win without Lamar Jackson. I think if anybody had watched the Sunday Night Football game when they played the Chiefs, Jackson runs that offense, completely runs it. And I know they've had trouble at running back, but they seem to have. The thing is with the Ravens, with their running backs, you can put a new piece into the system because it's how they work. You could put another running back in and all will be fine because that's the way they run it. I know Lamar Jackson was questionable, but I don't believe it's COVID related. I don't think it is. So I expect Jackson to play, but regarding of the other people that have gone out, Justin Houston's a big loss. Derek Wolfe is a big loss. There are some, and the guy who absolutely terrorized the Chiefs' offensive line last year, Madubuike. I'll just put it out there right now. That's also a big loss as well. So I think Detroit right now will be looking at that thinking, okay, we may be able to run on this team a lot more now than what we could have done prior to this. But with Baltimore, I think against Detroit, they should have this. They should still have the win over this, despite the fact they've lost a few key pieces. Everyone thinks that Ravens are going to blow them out. Now I believe it ain't going to be a blowout. I believe this will be very, very close. And I don't think people should be covering the spread on that game specifically. Yeah,
indeed. Just going through quickly some of the notable injuries we got at the moment. The Colts, Carson Wentz is questionable. Again, does that affect the Colts that much, do you think?
Yes, massively, because the Colts playoff season right now is now on life support. 90% of teams that go 0-3, they don't make it to the playoffs. And this is probably the worst game the Colts could probably excluding the Chiefs or the Buccaneers, and that this is probably the worst team to go up against in the Tennessee Titans, because they're coming off a humongous win in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks. King Henry the 22nd returned back to form. If Carson Wentz is good to go, I think the Colts will have at least half a chance of beating Tennessee here. But the pressure is going to be on Indianapolis to win, to beat Tennessee in this game, because if it is, There's going to be more and more questions flying around saying, was Carson Wentz the problem, or was it the Eagles that was at fault? And right now, it's not looking at all comfortable at all for Carson Wentz, for that matter. I mean, I want him to do well at Indianapolis, but if he's injury prone and he's not performing well, then the Colts have given up a fair chunk of their capital to go and get someone who should put them over the top, but they could be back to square one again at the quarterback position.
Yeah, a lot of people have said and commented, and I haven't watched any of the Indianapolis stuff, but again, according to most people, he is still broken, as in not very good. So the injury obviously just adds to the woes. And I know what you mean about wanting to see him succeed and things like that. And I don't know, I can only compare it maybe to like a darts player or a snooker player that gets the yips. You know, they're okay, they're very good, they get, play. And then all of a sudden, they get the yips, they can't throw a dart, they can't pot a ball. And it just seems that Wentz is, and everyone said him going there with Frank Reich and everything like that was going to be the ideal scenario.
It should have been a match made in heaven.
But it doesn't seem to be that way at this present time. But even with the injury.
No, it's going to be awkward now for the Colts. As I said, this is really must win for them. If Tennessee lose, they go to 1-2. They'll tie with the Colts. It won't all be a problem. But if the Colts do lose this game, I fear for that organization for this coming season, because they should have really got off to a good start in our early predictions, and they have gotten off to the worst possible start they could have.
Definitely. A couple of other, just scrolling through. The Steelers, obviously, friend of the show, Alex Highsmith is out.
Yep.
With a groin, and TJ Watt is also questionable. And that's a big loss. Big loss for Pittsburgh, both of those.
They've also lost Hayden as well to a groin injury. 3 players gone down at the same time with groin injuries. They need to stop going to Deshaun Watson's masseuses for that to keep happening.
Well, exactly. And Deontay Johnson as well, the wide receiver, is out for them.
Yeah, but he got injured on a meaningless play on the final play of the game. That's just poor coaching. That's just poor coaching and poor management from the Steelers on that reason being. Yeah, Steelers are banged up, but they do play the Bengals. And the Bengals are one of the worst road teams since 2019. They've won 1 game since 2019. So I know there's a lot of big injuries, but I'm more concerned with this offensive line, because let's be real, it's not very good, is it? They can't block the run. Same problems as last year, and now they're struggling to protect Big Ben. He got hit 10 times last week against that Raiders front 4. He got decimated, and now he's got a pectoral muscle, although it's on his left side, so it doesn't affect him with his throwing on his right. I just think the Steelers right now, they're in a bit of a position now where they need to get something going. Either get the running game sorted, or, my God, stick another offensive lineman in to actually help protect Big Ben. Because right now, it's looking... I wouldn't be panicking if I was a Steelers fan, but we've been decimated by injuries, and you haven't made... It's not the best of starts. Beating Buffalo was great, but then you go and lose to the Raiders. You have to get the win over there. I don't know why you're laughing, Mr. Smug, because you can't really have nothing to smile about from last week. But
well, yeah.
Hey, I can always smile when you're talking shit on the Raiders. So
welcome along, Mr. Smug. Unfortunately you missed the part where we talked about your shitty fantasy last week, where you got beaten quite easily, apparently, which is always funny, only because it's you, obviously. Yeah, Steelers. Big Ben apparently again threw a lot last week and got murdered. What a shame. Can't say Can't say I'm not happy about that because, well, we all know my feelings, I think, on him. They drafted that running back, Najee Harris. And like a lot of teams, they get these guys, but they don't actually sort out their offensive line to actually create some holes to make that guy look good, which always mystifies me. Always. I don't get how, and like with the Bungles, they get a really good QB and they got a shitty O-line. Seattle the same. Why do these two? And you can answer this, Mr. Smug, and welcome along. Good morning. Nice to see you woke up, even if it was late. Why do you think these teams draft or get good free agents in, but then don't look after them as such with a line or, to protect them? It seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it's, I think a part of it is it's hard to build a really good offensive line. I mean, linemen are harder to come by, and it's harder to find and build a good unit than people think. And also, when they've got the TJ Watt, like you're talking about the Steelers, when you got TJ Watt and you got, Big Ben making big money, and you spend your first round pick on a running back because you shipped out James Conner. There's only so many assets to go around. So you're going to have strengths in areas and you're going to have weaknesses in other areas. And so it just kind of lends itself to that. I don't know I don't follow the Steelers, so I don't know what moves they made or didn't make. I saw they let that Villanueva go, right? He's gone. He was a decent player. I don't know if that was money or if that was lack of performance that they thought on their part, but you can't have, with the salary cap, you can't have superstars at all, 11 starting positions on offense and defense. You just can't do it. You saw the Chiefs last year too. Injuries can go through there. It's really hard to get depth. So if you lose a starting offensive lineman or even worse, 2 or 3, you could be in a lot of trouble really quick at the line. And unfortunately for teams like the Steelers, they don't have a mobile quarterback. When the protection isn't as great or it breaks down, he's not getting out of there. He's not the big, bulky guy that could fend off tacklers and break tackles like he used to as well. So age has come into there. There's a million different factors, but I think a line is important, but I don't think you have to have a dominant line. I think skill position players are where teams should focus. Wide receiver, running back, obviously the quarterback, that goes without saying. I mean, that's not some hard-hitting analysis right there that you should worry about the quarterback. But, defensive line, having edge rushers or defensive tackles like the Chiefs with Chris Jones, that's important. So yeah, it's a fluid thing, and depending on your quarterback situation and depending on where you're spending money and how you're drafting, some teams don't value it as much as others. And some teams, the Chiefs offensive line was rebuilt this year. They've been okay, but I don't think they've performed as well as the Chiefs front office would have hoped. And there's time. There's only a couple games into the year.
Sorry to butt in, Scott, but the reason being why you say that the Chiefs line hasn't been as good as a lot of people will say it is, it's pretty much a brand new offensive line. New center, new left guard, new left tackle, new right tackle. 4 of your 5 main pieces are all brand new. So there's going to be growing pains in regarding of that. Sure. But to piggyback off you to say that it's difficult to create an offensive line, the Chiefs created your offensive line in the space of 3 months. Brett Veach created that in the space of 3 months. The New York Giants have still been doing it for the last 3 years.
Well,
it's organization. It's organizational structure on how they work.
Right. And as we all know, teams whiff on people too. You could focus on your offensive line, but if you draft a couple guys or you sign the wrong free agent, it doesn't get better. So there's misses. There's teams that don't value it as much. I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons how it can happen. It's important And it's definitely more important when you've got an older quarterback that's not as mobile as someone, like Ben Roethlisberger.
It was glaringly obvious that the line needed reinforcements last year, and what was Bren's biggest strength, which was the offensive line was actually protecting him. Now it's not protecting him, so they've just gone from bad to worse on that offensive line. I mean, everyone is hoping Najee Harris is going to do a breakout year and be Derrick Henry. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Not if they're not opening up the holes, and that obviously is a big issue. And going on to the Chiefs, obviously I watched the Chiefs Ravens game, and Mahomes looked like old Mahomes. You didn't see him, running around trying to save his life and win the game on his back. And that, I think, with the Chiefs, I mean, we all saw the Super Bowl. We're not going to touch on that, but you could see he was back fully fit. He was being protected, and most of his throws, and it annoys me to say this, were just amazing. Kelsey was getting, they're all getting open, but it looks effortless for him, and that annoys the shit out of me, because I wish more QBs could be like that. And then you see Lamar, and I still don't know how these defenses can plan for someone like him, because I mean, some of those RPOs and keeps, and the cameramen are getting confused, for Christ's sake. So how does that look when you're down on the field? I mean, it's amazing how you watch
the difference,
it and you think, hang on, he's got the ball, and then all of a sudden Lamar's running around the back and he's out the side, and you're just like,
that's the thing. That's
but
two teams that you cannot plan for. One of them is obviously the Chiefs, because Mahomes is just simply awesome, absolutely awesome with his arm. How he just somehow can chuck it sidearm and go from one side of the field, then throw it up over to the left hand side, and it confuses the defense. It's simply unbelievable. Lamar Jackson is a different the Lamar Jackson way is a different type of offense. If you can stop a run, you have to make him pass. And that was what we always talked about. That's what me and Freddie talked about in our pre-game before the Sunday Night Football game. Consistency. Can Lamar Jackson throw the ball down the field consistently? And at the start of it, he didn't throw it consistently. Pick six to Tyrann Mathieu, and then another interception to Tyrann Mathieu, near enough to the Chiefs' end zone. But if you can't stop the run, especially of the Baltimore Ravens, you're basically trying to fight a losing battle. And the Chiefs were constantly doing that all the time. They've given up over 400 yards on the ground in the last two games, to the Browns and now to the Ravens. I would be concerned about the Chiefs' defense, because I know they'll get it together at some point down the stretch, because they always, I think it was 2019, their defense was shockingly bad, and then they slowly got going, and then by the time it reached the end of regular season, they were white hot. They were ready. So I was a Chiefs fan. I wouldn't get concerned. I wouldn't be panicking about his fate. But this game against the Chargers coming up with Austin Eckler is going to be a bit of an issue. But I still think the Chiefs, they'll bounce back. If there's one team you don't want to face after coming off a loss, it's Kansas City, because they're just going to be as more than deadlier than ever.
Also, I think as well that when you are the Chiefs, and obviously, Scott, you can comment to this, and obviously they did gash your defense with running, but you've got such a great offense that if it goes to a shootout, more often than not, you can rely on that offense to come out on top. And that's the thing, I think, with a team like that is, the defense can be a bit sketchy and etc. And unfortunately, they didn't come out, obviously, with the win against the Ravens. But are you worried about that, Scott? Are you worried about the run or the defense in general, or are you quite happy because you've got Tyreek Hill, etc. to bail you out if you need it?
I'm not going to say that I'm panicked about the defense, but it's definitely a concern. They didn't play good against the Browns really either until the fourth quarter. They weren't on the defense wasn't on the field much in the third quarter because the Chiefs offense had the ball the entire quarter against the Browns. But the Browns averaged over 8 yards per play in that game, which is just absolutely pitiful defense in the NFL. The tackling's been poor. The scheme has been poor. The whole thing with the Ravens, and that's why the Chiefs had beaten the Ravens 4 straight games, because that's what they did. They made them. They stopped the run, put them in 3rd and long in difficult situations, and made Lamar Jackson beat him in the air, and he couldn't. But you're right with having the Chiefs offense. The Ravens game, they rushed for 250,000 yards or whatever the hell it was, and the defense couldn't get stops there. They did get a stop on. I want to say it was a second down that would have put the Ravens in 3rd and long there in the fourth quarter, and then there was a bullshit illegal contact penalty on Tyrann Mathieu where his hand grazed the guy's back. So they got kind of hosed there, but you got to go and stop them on the next play. I'm not trying to say that's calls the reason the Chiefs didn't win the game, but you do have Patrick Mahomes, you do have Tyreek Hill, and you do have Travis Kelce, and they did give up all those yards, and the defense looked awful against the run. But the Chiefs still had the ball in field goal range with the chance to win the freaking game, and the dude and I'm not even going to say that it was a great play by the Ravens because the guy just kind of half-ass slapped at the ball at the back of his hand, and it popped out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm not even going to get started on him because we could go for 30 minutes on what I think about that guy. He's just not that good of a running back. And to just hand the game away right there is brutal. I don't know that it's going to haunt the Chiefs, with tiebreakers and AFC down the road, and it's the Ravens. I think if the Chiefs played the Ravens, they probably beat them 7 out of 10 times. They're the better team. So again, everything that goes wrong in the defense with all the problems they've had, and they could really should be sitting at 2-0. So they need to get it tightened up. They need to make some adjustments. The biggest concern is the defensive line. They spent a lot of money and a lot of attention on that defensive line the last couple of years, and it has not been good the first 2 weeks. So we'll see the game coming up against the Chargers. I think the Chiefs are going to win the game. I think they're going to win it fairly comfortably. The Chargers have been a little bit of a disappointment. They come out they lost to Washington week 1. They beat Washington.
No, they beat Washington.
They beat Washington week 1 in a close game. I think they only scored 20 points in that game. And then they lost at home to the Cowboys. The Cowboys aren't a terrible team, but if you're as good as everybody thought the Chargers are going to be, and if they thought they were going to be, and Justin Herbert's as good as everybody thinks he is and is going to be, you should beat the Cowboys at home. So
but
I'm not jumping off the bridge over the Chiefs yet, but you can't look at the defensive performance for the first 2 weeks. It's a small sample size, but it's not good.
I'm interested. Sorry, Carl. Just very quickly. I know you said you could do 30 minutes on Edwards-Helaire, but condense it to a couple. He had and obviously I'm not a Chiefs fan, but he had a very good season, I believe, last year. And I thought everyone was sold on him as, Chiefs fans. So what's changed because of that one fumble? Is that because of that fumble, or what is it you're seeing that you don't believe in?
He amassed a lot of yards last year, and he had some catches and but he's not explosive. First of all, I don't think he's very fast. I bet if you lined him up with the other 2 running backs on the team, I bet he's the slowest running back on the Chiefs roster. He doesn't. You never see him turn a negative play. You never see him turn -2 yards into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 yards. The guy, his career-long run. Now this is only his second year, but he's still at 18 games. His career-long run is 31 yards. That's not good for a starting NFL running back. I'm sorry, that's not. He's averaging 3.3 yards a carry this year. He didn't even average 5 last year. I want to say it was 4.4 last year. Now, when you throw some of his catches in, but he doesn't break tackles. They threw a pass to him in the Ravens game out in the flat, a screen pass, and I think the closest defender was 7, 8, 10 yards away from him, and he got 3 yards. So I just don't see it. He's not the worst running back in the league, but I'm not sold on him. I don't think he's anything spectacular. I didn't like the pick in the first round last year when they got him. I thought Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins and some other running backs were better than he was. I was kind of a head scratcher there. Andy Reid said that's the guy Patrick Mahomes wanted. Who knows if that might just be him having fun with Clyde in an interview or whatnot. But just and Clyde Edwards, his longest run this year is 9 yards in 2 games. That's not good enough. And I don't care how.
So, in other words,
blame the line and blame the scheme or whatever, but at some point, if you're a top shelf running back, if you're a first round running back, you need to be producing more than that.
Do you
put it in that respect?
Sorry,
Go
Nick. Just a quick question. What you've seen for Clyde Edwards-Helaire now has been slightly disappointing. Do you wish now that the Chiefs front office kept hold of Damian Williams?
Yeah, that's hard to say. Damian Williams was a baller, especially in the playoffs in that Super Bowl run they had. He sat out last year. He's a backup on the Bears this year, so it's hard to say. But his production was better. His career long run with the Chiefs was longer than 31 yards. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm. I know that because I had him in fantasy a couple of seasons ago, so I know that.
I was at the Vikings game when he had the 91-yard touchdown run. So, yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's just not. And Andy Reid's system, you look at going back. I mean, there's been guys that you never even heard of, Spencer Ware and Sharkhandrick West, that have come in when Jamal Charles and Damian Williams and guys miss time, and they come in and they look spectacular. So for him to just look mediocre at best, it's concerning. We're stuck with him now. I mean, you're not going to go out and do anything about it this year, so they're going to have to find a way to work around that. Maybe the fumble. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm going to jump off the guy's bandwagon here because he had one fumble. He has not been a fumbler. He didn't have a fumble all year last year. That's his first fumble as a pro. You look at his numbers in college, he wasn't a fumbler. That was a fluke thing. It came in an extremely unfortunate time, obviously. But I just haven't seen the production. And when I watch the guy, I just don't see the speed. I don't see any burst. I don't see him breaking tackles. I don't see him being nifty and turning, a short gain into a long gain, a negative gain into a positive gain. But again, he's going to be the guy. They're not going to kick him to the curb. They're not going to start playing the other running backs over him. I would expect to see a heavy dose of him early in the Chargers game to try to build his confidence back. And I want the guy to be good because, you guys talk about this, Nick. I see back and forth a lot on 49ers Twitter and people hating on Jimmy and, you just want the team to fail. I want the guy to be good. I want him to be good. I just haven't seen him be as good as I think the Chiefs need to be.
Don't you dare bring up Jimmy G. Don't you dare.
I had to throw it in there, Nick. But to me, it's the same thing.
Always.
Like, I can be critical of the guy without rooting against the team and rooting against
The thing is, I can't believe you think he's faster than Jet McKinnon, who's on your roster right now.
No, I think Jerick McKinnon's faster than Clyde. I think Darrell Williams is faster than Clyde.
I'm telling you now, if that is the case, then he runs as fast as me. And my 40 time is probably about 15 minutes. So that's bad. That's bad. In fact, going back to the Ravens game, it's probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time. And normally, I only watch either the highlights or the condensed, but I actually sat down for the 3 hours and watched the whole game. And I thought it was an amazing game. And that's what you want. To me, that was a football game. Wasn't a blowout. It was backwards and forward, and it was exciting.
And it had a lot of controversial moments. It had moments of like, oh no, why have you done that for? I mean, personally, just from my own perspective, doing that live stream for that game, that's why I'm doing this sort of thing. It was really, really good. Really,
Yeah.
really a very, very good game to watch as a neutral. As a neutral, it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, it was exciting. There was big plays by both teams. Lamar Jackson, the jump pass he threw. Now Brown was wide open, but that was a heck of a play. The Travis Kelce catch and run was unbelievable. There was, a defensive score. It came down to the last minute. There was drama. Yeah, no, it was a hell of a football game. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And as I say, normally, depending on who's playing, I'll just condense it or I'll just watch the 5-minute highlights. But I thought I saw the score, had a chuckle with you in mind, obviously, Mr. Smug. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm actually going to sit down and watch. And it was a brilliant game. Some of those passes Mahomes makes, and it's, sidearm, and it's just effortless. I'd love to see how far he can actually throw the ball downfield, like a contest with just arm strength. Because I reckon he could probably throw 70, 80 yards quite easily and not even look like it's a struggle.
Yeah, he says, and other players on the team say that he can throw at 80 yards. There's a video of him from last year where he threw it out of the stadium. He's standing in the end zone and he throws the ball up and out of the stadium over the back wall of the upper deck. Now, it was the lower part of the upper deck because Arrowhead comes up in the corners and kind of comes down to there where they get the scoreboard in the middle. It was over the lower part of the wall, but he's a freak. I was talking about this with my brother and my buddy. He makes plays every week that would be the career highlight for just about any other quarterback in the league, not named Aaron Rodgers, the top 2, 3, 4 guys. And like that first touchdown he threw to Demarcus Robinson, where he kind of avoided the sack, the pocket was kind of collapsing. He stepped up and just kind of flicked it with his wrist and dropped it right in the bucket in the back of the end zone to Robinson. That's an unbelievable play. And he does it so often, it's almost routine. And when you watch it, it's almost doesn't even seem as spectacular as it is because he just does it so much. And like you said, Nick, he makes it look effortlessly. It just looks – that's what great players, though. That's what always separates the great players from even the good players is just they make the game look effortlessly. It looks like it's slow. It looks like it's easy. It looks like they're on a completely different level than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's fun to watch in a different way. It's like watching Lamar. They're both fun to watch, but for different reasons. But then Jimmy G made a video of him throwing it somewhere or other, doing something. But so videos mean nothing. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Right. Shall we do some picks, gentlemen?
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Put this on. Hang on. There you go. Don't forget, if you are watching and you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit the notifications because you'll just see us talking shit most of the time and it is quite funny. We also now do a Wednesday evening show, which is 7:30 UK time, which is probably 1:30 Eastern, something like that. So if you are around, please join and enjoy. Right, let's do some game picks. I'm saving the 49ers till last, obviously. Obviously. Colts, Titans. Carl, choose.
Colts playoff hopes are on life support right now. I actually fear for them. If Carson Wentz does not prove in this game why the Colts should have given up a ransom to get him back for Frank Reich, then this is going to be an absolute failure. But they're going into a game against the Tennessee Titans, who are coming off a huge win over the Seahawks. And they went back to what they did best, was run the foot, give Derrick Henry the ball, and let him run you down. And I think this could be another one of those games. I'm taking Tennessee to beat the Colts.
What do you reckon, Scott?
Man, Carl sounded like he had some genuine concern for the Colts there when he was talking about him being on life support. The Scott sounded like he was talking about maybe like his grandma or something.
Scott, originally off season, I had the Colts winning this division. After what I saw from Tennessee, though, I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick with the Titans. But I'm generally the Colts. I thought were going to be a playoff contender. I wouldn't say win the division, but maybe a wild card team. But what I'm seeing right now is quite concerning. But anyway, it's your turn. Off you go.
Yeah, the Titans. I don't know how they won that game against Seattle. That was the Titans' defense. They're gonna be capable of losing any game they play. So I'm never gonna pick them comfortably this season. But the Colts, for everything Carl just said, yeah, the Titans should win this game. I'll roll with them, but I don't feel good about that at all. They're pretty bad teams at this point.
For me, it's the Titans. I think it's a clean sweep. Just touching on the Colts, do you think that if they stink this year and it is down to mostly the QB play, that Frank Reich's on the hot seat? Because he obviously lobbied to get Carson Wentz. They obviously gave up a lot to get him. Do you think, Carl, that he's on the hot seat, or do you think they're just going to put it down to experience and move on and hope for the best?
No, I don't think Frank Reich's job is on the line if this goes horribly wrong. I don't believe so. I think he's a very good coach. But they've had an issue with the quarterback since Andrew Luck retired, basically. And for me personally, I think it's all on Carson Wentz, really. Remember, they gave up a significant amount to bring him in, but I don't think they're going to lose much at all if they release him. So this is really trial and error. And if Carson Wentz does not prove it this year, then maybe he may have to find some new way of employment. Oh, no, wait, no, hang on. He got paid $130 million by the freaking Philadelphia Eagles, which is one of the most boneheaded contracts I've ever seen in my life. But, Colts need to buck their ideas up and they have to get a win this week or they are going to be in major trouble.
What do you think, Scott? Do you think Reich's in trouble if it all goes due south, or is he's safe, but Wentz isn't?
This is his third year there. Is that right?
No. What? Frank Reich?
Yeah, his third year.
Yeah, it's his third year.
I don't know how hard he lobbied or sold for Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, people were talking about this dude as an MVP candidate a couple of years ago. Injuries have hurt him. It's one of those things where you see a lot of guys have a really good year, but then once defenses really start paying attention to you and learning where your weaknesses are at and try to exploit those, if you can't fix those, you're going to be in trouble. It's kind of like a major league hitter that can't hit the curveball. Once people figure that out, that's all you're going to get. So I don't think he'd be on the hot seat, but it's obviously not going to be good for him. He would probably be in a prove it or lose it next year situation in year 4. They had high hopes for him. The Andrew Luck situation too really screwed that franchise and that organization. So I don't think he'd be on the hot seat, but there'd be some pressure, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, that was very high profile and quite a shock that Andrew Luck retired. And you kind of understand why some of these players do retire, but that was a definite bolt out of the blue. But I think, as we've all said, I think the Titans should win this game. And I'm going to watch this for the first game. I'm not going to watch. This is the only game probably I'm going to watch. Either that or the Chiefs game. But Falcons versus the G-Men. Scott, what do you think?
Man, we're starting off with the rummies here this week that we talk about the Falcons.
Well, I've got a barrel down here and I'm scraping the bottom of it to get,
The Falcons, I just keep waiting for them to get better, and they're not. I thought they were going to be a decent team this year. I thought the subtraction of Julio Jones might actually have helped that team. They got a new coach. Matt Ryan is a damn good quarterback. Unfortunately for him, he's been cursed with terrible defenses most of his career. When you look at some of his numbers and some advanced metrics on that dude, he is a damn good quarterback. He's accurate. I know Julio wanted out of there because he couldn't throw the deep ball, but he's getting towards the end of his career. He could throw the deep ball just fine his first few years when he was younger. So that game, man, I just flip a coin, and I'm going to go with the Falcons. I don't know why I keep picking them to win, but I think they'll win again.
So that's all bound to go wrong.
Matt Ryan versus Daniel Jones. That's what I'm going off of.
That is a very good point, actually. Carl, what do you think?
The biggest chokers in the league versus the Derp. Oh, fucking wonderful. Right. Okay. Right, let's try and now. Yes, I agree with what Scott said, Matt Ryan. He is a very, very good QB. No question, shadow of a doubt about it. But the Falcons have given up 40 points in their last 2 games. I mean, at some point, they've got to figure something out because you can't continue to keep doing this all the time. Because we are going to see another blown lead in the 4th quarter again, and I will lose my shit over it. I have got more confidence in the Giants' defense, but only slightly. Especially their run defense is slightly better. The Giants' weapons are actually the Giants. If you look at their weapons, Saquon Barkley running back, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph. They've actually got some really, really, really good weapons. And Daniel Jones is always the question mark over. But last year he had his first game this season where he actually had a turnover-free game, and he actually looked good. I know it was against the Washington football team, but that defense should be a damn sight better. If he could put 29 points on the Washington football team's defense, I'm sure he could put 35 plus on the Falcons defense. It's a close one. I'm going to take New York to win this.
It's probably one of the worst matchup games of the week. But I'm watching
No. I will stop you right there. The worst game coming up will be in week 5 when the Falcons have to play the Jets in London. That's going to be the worst game. Come on.
Well, I wouldn't know.
The NFL gave you guys a banger.
Music festival then, and I won't be watching, so I couldn't give a shit what happens. To me, I don't know. I am a massive Matt Ryan fan, and if it was QB versus QB, we all know who would win, but unfortunately it isn't. And I'm with Carl. I think the Giants defense has got enough. Depending on how Daniel Jones plays, if Daniel Jones can have another not error-free, but a 0 interception game against this defense, it should be a foregone conclusion. So on that note, guess who's got a lone wolf coming up? Mr. Smug, hit me with that lone wolf.
We're going to be doing a lot of lone wolves with only 3 people picking the games, but I'll play. I'll go on.
That was actually quite good, and I think that's the first lone wolf I've ever heard. Chargers Chiefs. Now, I obviously would love the Chargers to win this game, just so I can give you more shit, Scott. Obviously. Can I see it?
No.
Absolutely not. Chiefs by a landslide. Carl?
Yeah, Chiefs are going to kick the Chargers' ass so hard they're going to get booted back to San Diego. So, yeah, take Kansas City all day.
I wonder who you're going to pick, Mr. Smug. But I do want to see some really nice plays from Justin Hurt because he is a fun QB to watch. Win or lose, some of those throws he made last week were incredible throws. And again, like Burrows, I feel sorry for someone that's not protected, but is so good. So I'm going to watch the highlights of that game just to watch the 2 QBs throw lasers, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Herbert had a couple interceptions last week, right?
Yeah.
He did, yes.
But so did your golden boy have one, which was a bonehead play. But anyway.
That was a terrible. He even said it after the game. He goes, that might be my worst play since I've been a professional football player. So, yeah.
And it is shocking. It is shocking when you see especially Mahomes, make mistakes. And you're thinking, well, how does that work? Because he doesn't make mistakes.
Well, he was under a lot of pressure to make a play and score points because his defense was getting carved up, looked like Swiss cheese out there. So, yeah, I mean, that didn't help.
Actually, I found an even shittier game, or potential to be shitter than the Giants-Falcons game.
Oh, I have seen it already.
Bengals versus the Steelers. I'm not even going to comment because we all know who I'm picking, and it certainly isn't the Steelers. Carl.
This is a really awkward one because on one hand, you got the Steelers defense that's completely ravaged by injury, offensive line not protecting Big Ben playing like a bag of shit, and now they lost their best receiver in Deontay Johnson on a needless play. On the flip side of that, you got the Cincinnati Bengals that have won one road game since 2019. So who the hell do you trust? On this occasion, I am going to choose the Steelers just for home field advantage. I think they'll eke out a win against the Bengals. It won't, but it'll be a close game.
Scott?
I'm not high on the Steelers, and the Bengals, I'm not saying I'm high on them either, but they've shown some flashes, and they've shown that they got some playmakers on offense, and Burrow's a fine quarterback. I'm going to take the Bengals in this game.
Carl.
Ooh.
It is another lone wolf situation.
It's going to be like this every single freaking play, I can guarantee it. So. Oh, okay then. Oh,
we like it. We like it. Next game, Bears-Browns. Now, this is interesting to me purely because of Justin Fields. He obviously came on because the Ginger Assassin got knackered early, and he had some highs, he had some lows, probably more lows than highs. And a lot of people, San Francisco fans, are saying, well, they're comparing Fields to obviously Lance, and Fields is getting plays, Lance isn't, etc., etc. And I'm quite excited to see Justin Fields because I still think they should have taken him over Lance. But the Bears, they're tragic. And I don't think I want to pick him for Justin Fields, and I want him to come and light it up. But the Browns just seem strong again to me. I know Baker was a bit sketchy. I'm on the fence. In fact, come to me last because I'm still deliberating as to what I'm going to do. Scott, who you got?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Justin Fields. If it was me, I would have picked him first out of any of the quarterbacks in the draft last year. I know the Jets, the Wilson, some other guys went ahead, but I would have taken Fields. I think he's going to ball out. Rest in peace, Andy Dalton. It's been a fun career, but I think unfortunately you're getting buried this week because he's going to come out and he's going to be good. But the Bears they just don't have enough anywhere else. David Montgomery is a decent running back, but they got Robinson, wide receiver. But other than that, they really don't have much, and their defense has really kind of decayed the last couple of years. It's not what it was when they had Khalil Mack. And was, that Bears defense that everybody was afraid of there for, it seemed like forever. That was always their strength. The Browns just got too much for them. Chubb and Hunt. I think OBJ. Now, Jarvis Landry got hurt, right? He's out. But I think OBJ coming back, I expect him to play pretty well. The Browns defense is fairly solid, although they do struggle with mobile running style quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson's giving them problems. They had some issues, with Tyrod Taylor kind of looked really good against them. But, yeah, the Browns should win this game. I'm going to roll with the Browns.
You got to feel sorry for the Ginger Assassin because, obviously, he left Dallas last year. New start with the Bears. Obviously, at the time he went, no one knew who they were going to draft. And the starting gig was his, and whether he played well or not is immaterial. And then all of a sudden you get injured. And that's buried his career now, especially with them getting Fields. I mean, as you say, that's it. See you later. Thanks, Andy Dalton, for your unstellar career, but you've earned a lot of money. I don't know. I do. I want to see Fields. So even though the Bears D is pretty shit, I've got to go. I just want to see Fields just light it up. And do you think, out of all the QBs drafted, just very quickly, who do you think out of those QBs, and include Mac Jones, who's got the highest ceiling out of all of them that were drafted? What do you think, Scott?
I think it's Justin Fields. He's a good passer, and he's got that Lamar Jackson-esque ability to run and be a threat on the ground, and is a better thrower, has a better passer of the football than he is. So I liked him, like I said just a minute ago, and we talked about this last year when we were breaking down draft. I thought he had the most promise. I thought he was the best prospect in last year's draft. I think he has the highest ceiling.
Why do you think then that he went? Because he was one of the number 9. Was he 9 in the draft?
10th.
10th.
Why did he? Is that because? Why do you? Is that because you think the other teams that drafted QBs knew who they actually wanted, or was there something that they may have seen that bothered them about Phil? I mean, and you've got to look at Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, past QBs that should have been up there. Mahomes even should have been up there and wasn't. Why do you think he slipped so low in the draft? I've never understand some of these.
Two words. Ohio State.
Yeah, that's
exact. And that's the only reason being why Ohio State quarterbacks have never come out of it. Have never come out at the NFL level ever. And that's probably why they were a little bit concerned about. But going back through his college stat, he actually put up some really, really good numbers. I just think they were worried about any quarterback come out of Ohio State has to be put in with a note of caution. And the Bears, they thought, fuck the notion. Let's just go get him. Let's trade up. Let's go get our guy. Yeah, it took you 3 weeks to start him, but, you got your guy. So, no, I agree with Scott. The highest ceiling is Justin Fields of all this. Trevor Lawrence is in a bad situation. Zach Wilson, he's going to get coached into the ground and come out even worse than what he should have been. Mac Jones, for me, his ceiling, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people say his ceiling is Kirk Cousins. For me, I think if he could actually push the ball down the field, I'd say his ceiling's Drew Brees. But that might be me reaching. And as regarding of Trey Lance, we haven't seen enough of him yet to say what he could do. I mean, from what I've seen, play-wise, he throws X-Factor throws. But it's the basics that he can't get right. Can't get the checkdowns, can't get the slants, can't get the rubs. You have to learn from the ground sometimes, and that's why Jimmy G's starting.
Can I just say, everyone, that's Carl talking bad about Trey Lance. Don't come at me.
I didn't say anything bad. I didn't say anything bad about Trey Lance.
I've not said a bad word yet about Trey Lance. So, disclaimer. Okay.
It was really puzzling. It was really puzzling to me how Justin Fields felt when he was sitting there, and we talked about this when we broke down the draft. When he was sitting there and the Broncos were on the clock, I was fucking sweating, man. I was like, he kept falling, and then he's sitting there, and the Broncos are on the clock, and then they did what the Broncos do, and they pick a cornerback, and then they bench Drew Lock for Teddy Bridgewater when you could have had Justin Fields. So. Yeah, I think
I'll just say that. I don't think you would want to picture it, Scott. But can you imagine Justin Fields and that Broncos offense with the weapons that he's got to throw to? Holy shit!
Right? Yeah. No.
The thing is, I don't think old Horseface wanted to take the chance on their 65th quarterback in 2 seasons. If that
they've
makes
been
sense.
trying to find a new QB since Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
right. They did that honestly, anyway, though. It wasn't even like they stuck with Drew Lock. They ended up going to Teddy Bridgewater instead. So you moved on. You started a new guy anyway. That just doesn't make any sense. The guy doesn't know what he's doing as the president of the team. I'm sorry. He schmoozed Peyton Manning, got him in there, and won him a Super Bowl. But other than that, they haven't done shit, and he hasn't done shit as the president of the team. I hope he stays there forever because all the torture that he inflicted upon me as a Chiefs fan, as a young football fan watching the Chiefs in the late 80s and the 90s. It can't be bad enough to make me happy. But I think the other thing too is I think it's just hype. I think Trevor Lawrence was at Clemson and the national championships, and Deshaun Watson played there, and Zach Wilson. He made the big plays, but he didn't play in the Big Ten. The level of competition wasn't as good there. Then Trey Lance comes out of nowhere and he looks good, but it's a small sample size. And
it's the same as Zach. It's the same as Zach Wilson coming out of BYU.
Yeah,
we saw all these amazing throw. God, this kid looks talented, looks special, and he probably is the most talented out of all the QBs.
As a passer, probably.
As a passer, yeah. But he's gone to a team and gone to a situation now where they're basically thrown into the walls. They say, right, you got to chuck 25, 30 yards down the field. You could have killed the kid instantly. This is why Mac Jones has not hasn't had the pin been pulled out of him yet, because we are putting cotton wool around the guy. Now, when we play the Saints this week, I'd like to see him push the ball a little more further down the field, because when we play the Bucs next week, we have to push the ball down the field. There's no way on God's green earth we're going to beat the Bucs by dinking and dunking. Absolute no chance.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say, I have been disappointed with the QB play from the drafted guys. Obviously, we haven't seen Lance yet. Certain people are saying that he's going to get some game time this week, purely based on the fact that Green Bay aren't that good against the run. Zach Wilson, I don't know. I've seen some of his play, and
last week he went up against a legitimate defense and he shat the bed.
That's the problem with, and I've been saying, as you know, Carl, I've been saying this, right? That's my issue with Lance. It's all right doing it against geezers that are now in Costco packing bags or washing cars in the car lot. Put them against legit defenses and see what happens.
Put him up against
Trevor
Aaron
Lawrence.
Donald. Put him up against Chandler Jones.
But we were talking trash on Andy Dalton earlier, but he was a good quarterback. He just had the unfortunate position of being drafted by the Bengals.
He was
Marvin.
He was
Lewis.
I mean, the guy was throwing for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in Cincinnati. He was just in a bad organization. Sam Darnold, leaves the Jets at Carolina, 3-0. The Jets are a bad organization. They just don't do things right. They don't put people in a position to succeed. I mean, put fucking the guy somewhere good and see what he does. Put Zach Wilson on the Arizona Cardinals, Kansas City Chiefs. One of these teams that's got weapons and got
put him in an organization where they're going to protect him, and B, how they're going to coach him properly. The Pats can do that. The Saints can do that. The Chiefs can do that. I would probably say the Buccaneers could probably do that as well. I'll even go as far as saying the 49ers can do that as well. There are a number of teams out there that can actually do that sort of thing. The problem is, though, they're winning. And the quarterbacks that the others are going to are the teams that are losing, badly organized, badly run, can't coach for their love for toffee.
Right. And God bless him. He said all the right things in the draft, Zach Wilson did. I'm excited to be in New York and Jets, and he was posting all over social media. He had to have been thinking, fuck me.
New York, you're in the media capital of the world. If you don't pull up trees, oh my God, they will come at you. They will come at you.
Yeah, and if you're not the savior of the organization, now I will say he's got some decent play. I mean, I think Corey Davis is a good wide receiver. Maybe it'll take a couple years. I didn't expect him to come in, and I said I like Justin Fields the best in that draft. That was a kind of a position that evolved along the way. I actually liked Zach Wilson a lot. I thought it was either him or Fields, or probably the two. I would have, if I couldn't have got one of those guys, if I was picking second or third, I would have picked the other.
Yeah, if you look at all the QBs, you look at Trevor Lawrence, he was obviously the most gifted because he was number one overall pick. Zach Wilson, the most talented. Trey Lance, again, he was very, very talented, but in a small school, hard to really put your finger on. Justin Fields probably is the one to take the huge step. And Mac Jones, he was the most NFL QB ready because of it playing at Alabama. It's the same system that we run.
He's looked good too. I mean, I
efficient. Efficient is what I like
efficient.
Efficient is what I would call him. I need to see him push the ball down the field a little bit more. I'm going to use this analogy that I used on my show, and I'm going to just recite it. When you have a child and he or she is learning to ride their bike, at some point in time, you have to take the stabilizers off. Because otherwise, if you continue to ride, then it's just going to be balanced and be protected all the time. At some point, you're going to just have to let him go. And if he's going to throw an interception, he will throw interceptions. If he fumbles, he fumbles. Rookies are going to make mistakes in this league. And I think at some point he needs to do better. Hello, Dion. Good to have you on.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Morning, Scott. Morning, Alfred.
Dion.
I didn't know you guys called them stabilizers.
Yeah, well, back over here we do anyway.
Yeah. No, I did. Yeah. No, hey, I like you know me. I like learning different types of lingo. We just call them training wheels. But I've never taught any of my kids how to ride a bike with training wheels. I wasn't taught that way. I literally, my oldest daughter, I told her, I was like, I just told it to her, kept it a buck. I was like, look, probably might fall, scrape your knee, whatever the case is. Either way, Dad will be right there to help you, and I'll be there to pick you up. And she was like, okay. We were in my mom's driveway, and I just basically said, you got to balance out. Pushed her down. She fell, scraped her knee. She came back. She was crying. I was like, hey, just scrape your knee. You'll be fine. And I pushed her down the driveway again. Didn't see her till she came back around the block. And my youngest daughter, same thing, But yeah, I didn't learn with training wheels. And I fell like 3 or 4 times because I had to learn on a fucking mountain bike. They got to learn on something for their size. So you just imagine I'm only 5'6", bro. So my little ass on a mountain bike at that time, oh God, I was like probably maybe not even that. And it was hilarious. But what are we talking about? How Mac Jones has looked since he's doing his thing? He has looked good.
Rookie quarterback with the most upside. Fields or Lawrence or Lance or Wilson or
who's got the
we don't know
ceiling.
We don't really know who has the highest ceiling. And the thing is honestly, we're probably going to see that strictly based on, and I think it's probably going to be Mac Jones. Mac's going to wind up possibly with Rookie of the Year, depending on what the schedule outcome looks like. And I mean, we all know that Bill Belichick was going to beat the crap out of Zach Wilson. You don't put a rookie quarterback up against Bill Belichick. Like anybody with a brain in their head understands that much. Like when they were like, oh, he threw 4 interceptions. He played Bill Belichick. What do you expect?
Yeah.
He destroys rookie quarterbacks on a consistent basis. Like I knew that. So, I mean, honestly, Lawrence is going to continue.
Except for Patrick Mahomes, but yeah, everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Patrick Mahomes is an anomaly. He is a bit of a unicorn. Like he's a one of one. When you get him in an action figure, you don't open the package because later on in the coming year, somebody's going to pay you a handsome ransom for that. But with Trevor Lawrence, to be honest with you, I think he's going to wind up with the new head coach next year. The issue is Urban Meyer doesn't understand what losing is. He truthfully does not. From Utah to Florida to Ohio State, that it does not happen to him. He puts a squad together. He put the staff together. His name is big enough to recruit the best names, and he wins. So he even said himself, like, I don't really know what speech I'm going to give these guys when we lose the game. And it's like, you're in Jacksonville. You're going to lose a lot of games. So you better figure out what the hell that speech is.
Better start practicing.
You better start practicing, because I can tell you right now, I honestly think I think if he does this, he'll be respected. If he doesn't, he'll be treated the same way we feel about Jim Harbaugh. If he bolts for that USC job and he doesn't talk to all those men in that locker room, he's going to be hated in the NFL. He'll never be allowed back in because players aren't going to want to play for him. But if he does what Nick Saban did, he will be respected. See, Saban, he coached the Dolphins through the end of the year, and he pulled them in midway through and said, hey, guys, this NFL thing is not for me. I'm going back to college. I'm going to Alabama. I want you guys to hear it before the media tells you. Harbaugh, deny. Next thing you know, season's over. Him and Jed York hate each other, and Jim Tomsula is our head coach. And all we had to do, honestly, was to give – at the time, all we had to do was give Adam Gase Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. But Jed York told him no, he wanted to give him Jim Tomsula, and Adam Gase was like, I'm out of here. So,
well,
but
looking at it in hindsight, Dion, thank God we didn't get Adam Gase, bearing in mind what he did.
Yeah, that guy is – he's not – he is not very
good.
Yeah, that's very true. But I think we'll see a good thing from Fields. I honestly think we will. We'll see some good stuff from him. And I think Nagy is going to draw up some plays specifically for him. Like with a quarterback like that, you play to their strengths and you continue to develop their the things that they don't do well continuously throughout the season. But honestly, if he balls out, there's no way you throw Andy Dalton back in there. I'm sorry. You can't.
There you go.
You said,
there you go.
See you
It's
later,
10
the
minutes.
ginger assassin, you're done.
Basically, yeah.
You've joined
ginger,
late.
What do you call him, Alvin? The ginger ninja?
The ginger ninja, the ginger assassin that has been buried.
There you go. $10 million.
Late,
Get the fuck out of here.
We've had a couple of lone wolves, which is fine because they've done it already. So I'm just going to run through where we've got so far, and you just give me your answers.
Of course.
Colts, Titans.
Titans.
Falcons, Giants.
Falcons.
Chargers, Chiefs.
Chargers in an upset. Yeah. Chargers in an upset.
They couldn't beat the Cowboys at home, Dion.
I understand that, but this is an interdivision rivalry, and you guys had the most problem within your division, i.e. the Chargers or the Raiders. I'm not going to say the Broncos because you usually beat them every time, but the Raiders or the Chargers usually give you guys the most headache, and it's just because they've seen you so much.
What's the worst?
Chiefs are 31-5 in the last 36 games against the division.
That's perfectly fine for me. I'm still taking them as an upset, strictly based. And plus, I got one of my best friends is a diehard Charger fan. He'd kill me if I picked your Chiefs.
He's one of the 12.
One of the million, man.
How the hell is he a diehard Chargers fan?
Even though SoFi gets taken over continuously by opposing fans, he has a Junior Seau jersey where the numbers in the name is almost worn off. That's how long he's been a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Bengals, Steelers.
I actually picked the Bengals.
There you go.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Yeah.
Dion's
Browns.
What'd you say?
Bears.
Bucks and the Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
No, Bears and Browns. Not
Bears and Browns?
Oh,
Hold on one second because I have to double check because I actually went through the games and did a show. I have to double check. I think I chose the Bears, but shit. No, it was the Browns. Yeah, I chose the Browns.
Yeah. Okay, so we're now up to speed. Next game we're going to look at is Ravens, injury ravaged, COVID ravaged, whatever you want to say. Ravens versus the Detroit Lions. Dion, choose.
Oh, I'll take the Ravens.
You know, Lamar could be out. There's 4 players with COVID. You're not worried about that?
I'm
I
not
wish
worried
everyone
about
would get. I wish everyone would get on at the same time because now we're gonna have to revert back because now John V has just entered the fray.
Oh shit!
John V in the fucking house. I love this guy right here.
What up, guys?
Goddamn Americans turning up late. What the fuck?
Hey,
Yeah,
man, I made special arrangements. I got the hell out of there in time. What's up?
Yeah, we're
What's
good,
going
John. I like the fact that you abandoned the soccer games to get back to be on with the Shank Club NFL.
Well,
you know what time it is.
It really, really wasn't in favor, so I didn't miss shit.
You're doing the washing up at home for a week, right? Before we let that, John, very quickly, very quickly, picks.
It's my Saturday mornings, bro. The Premier League. This is what I live for, right here.
Colts Titans. Who you got, John?
Titans for sure.
Falcons Giants.
Giants.
Chargers Chiefs.
Hey there, Scott.
I love how he did that. I love how he did that.
I heard you guys talking about my hopes, man.
Did you like me kicking your ass in fantasy this past week?
Dude, Carl, you put up some points, bro. Actually, you beat me by like 30. I think if we're being fair.
Yeah.
I didn't stand a chance. I got the Chiefs winning this one. I'm really wondering what's going on with the Chargers. I really expected a strong start. Maybe they're going to be a second half team. Maybe they're going to take off here shortly, but they're not beating the Chiefs.
Bungles Steelers.
Man, see, this is a division game, so it's going to be kind of like man, I love the offense in Cincy, but I just don't think they have. Oh, wait. You know what? I'm taking the Bengals, man. I think Ben Roethlisberger has a pectoral.
He does. He has a pectoral injury.
That's on his left hand. That's on his left side though. So he throws with his right. So he's not gonna.
When you're old, it hurts everywhere.
Yeah, and tell you a pectoral injury is no joke. I've had it.
Oh no, absolutely.
Hurts.
Okay, Bears Browns.
Big Ben doesn't have a pec injury. He's got a dislocated vagina. Okay. Okay.
It's like
they lose, it's some bullshit about I was hurt or this happened. It's not my fault. When he plays like shit and they lose every fucking
they do.
time.
He's right. They do.
I love it.
They do. He could have a hangnail on his little toe, and the dude will lose a Super Bowl.
Scott with the fire, man.
There's the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty there. Well done.
So Bears Browns, John.
Browns.
Man, with Dalton at the helm, I really believed that he could have actually led them to a victory over Cleveland. But I think I got Cleveland winning this one significantly and potentially. My man Fields is going to be in for a treat, man. I mean, he could potentially get beat out there, bro. Like beat in. They haven't taken off yet, so either they're going to annihilate Chicago, and they're going to show out this week. But for whatever reason, they're conservative right now or hesitant. I don't know. I expected this defense to be second, one of the top 3 defenses right now, and really not seeing much of production. So let's see.
It's still early days yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we're now all up to date. Carl has been scribbling down.
That was all. That's all I missed. All right,
Yeah, that's what you missed.
Carry on.
Ravens Lions, John.
I'm seeing a tough Lions team every week. I don't know about you guys. I got the Ravens though. The momentum's on their side right now from beating the Chiefs or their Jesus.
Yeah, don't mention that because unfortunately Mr. Smug will start crying. Talking to Mr. Smug, Ravens Lions.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I can't pick the Lions. Yeah.
Is
Like
there
a
a
big
trap
whack
game every
attack.
week, guys? Do you guys see a trap game at all? Like, is there a trap game for you guys every week, or do you guys see a trap game over the course of, like, let's say 2 or 3 weeks?
I see it every
typically
week.
see a trap game?
Yeah,
see
there
it
are
every
trap
week.
games every week.
Yeah,
So
you
do
never
we-
know,
do
man.
Do we have a trap game? Do you guys have a trap game in mind yet?
Yeah, Ravens Lions.
For me,
Ravens Lions.
This one? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
for me, it's honestly the Bengals and the Steelers. Because I can tell you right now, everybody thinks that the Steelers are just going to walk in and, just beat up on the Bengals. I don't know, man. TJ Watt's not in this game. Highsmith's not in this game.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a fun thing.
Big Ben's got that pectoral injury. And I can tell you, like, even though the injury is on his non-throwing arm, it's going to be a serious bitch to throw that ball. Regardless, every time he throws that ball, he's going to be ravaging in pain. And I don't care what type of cortisone shot or whatever the fuck you put on that. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt like a son.
It hurts across the whole chest.
Hurts across the whole
Exactly.
fucking chest.
It's like having bruised ribs on your left hand side. You're still twisting or doing whatever. So yeah, that's definitely.
I think Quan Alexander had a pectoral tear our Super Bowl run, right? And he was never the same trying to come out of it.
That pec and abdominal and that core, you use that part of your body anytime you move at all.
Just to stand up.
To breathe.
Shit,
I had bruised rib one time, dude. Every time you took a breath in, it felt like someone was sticking a freaking knife in the side of you. Like, it's, yeah. No, it's going to hurt.
Did you pick, Scott? Sorry, Ravens or Lions?
Yeah, no, I picked the Ravens.
Carl?
Even though the Ravens have got a significant amount of injuries and obviously COVID-related issues, if Lamar Jackson's good to go, the Lions ain't going to stop Jackson. Sorry, Ravens win this.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going Ravens as well. But what disappointed me in that Chiefs game is when they went for it on 4th down and the camera panned over when Lamar went to the sideline and he went, "Are we going for it?" Someone should have gone, "Of course we're fucking going for it, you fucking idiot." And they went, "Oh, yes, let's go for it."
And
John Harbaugh is not a conservative coach.
Well,
he will know when to go for it.
It's not about being conservative. It's about not being a fucking dumbass, okay? You don't kick the ball back to Patrick Mahomes with a timeout, and all they need is a field goal, especially. All these experts and analysts and people get paid, "Oh, it was a gutsy call. It was a ballsy call." No, that was the only call. Chiefs haven't been able to stop the run all game. You got to get 1 or 2 yards or punt. See, we have a better chance of getting a yard or two or stopping Patrick Mahomes. That was fucking no-brainer.
Yeah,
no-brainer.
Mahomes is a lot like, or he's becoming what I think of Tom Brady. You don't give QBs like that time on the clock because that is a fucking suicide mission, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's 90 yards. You don't give those types of QBs that time to come back. So, I don't think it was a gutsy call. I just think, as you say, it was a no-brainer call, really. And you just hope for the best, and obviously he made it. Saints versus the Patriots. Big Mac attack. What say you?
I'm taking the Pats to win this game, obviously. It's not going to be very straightforward, though. It's going to be depending on what Jameis Winston we're going to see. Are we going to see him from week 1 where he diced up the Packers defense? Or are we going to see in week 2 where he reopened his bakery and created delicious turnovers again? Both defenses, the Saints and the Pats, are pretty good. It's going to be a case of which QB is going to make the least mistakes. I'm going to take Mac Jones, so I'm taking the Patriots.
Scott?
Yeah, I don't like Jameis going up against Belichick. I just don't. And the Saints, what the hell's up with the Saints, man? They kicked the shit out of the Packers the first week, and then they look like they looked terrible last week. I don't. That's like a schizophrenic team the first couple of weeks trying to figure out what's going on with them. But I'm going to take the Patriots just because I don't like Jameis going up against Bill Belichick and the defense.
Definitely. John?
Belichick and the Pats.
Dion?
He's muted.
You're muted, Dion.
Sorry about that. I'm taking the Pats in the battle of the news there. It's basically, you got New England, you got New Orleans, and I'm sorry, Jameis Winston showed me who he really is. You can't go out and have less than 150 yards, throw 5 touchdowns, and then next week you come in and stink up the joint. Like it you constantly are wondering which Jameis you're going to get, which is why I honestly thought they would really go with Taysom Hill, but I guess they feel like, honestly, Jameis is a better thrower of the football, but
I think that's who he is.
That's just who he is, man. He's inconsistent, unfortunately.
As you said, New Orleans filled with hope when he balled out in that game, etc., etc. But as you say, he was shut, and you got to take Belichick over someone like Jameis, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's going to destroy that poor kid.
So
I think John V just spilt his tea.
Are you having issues?
Thought I was muted.
Are you having issues?
I thought I was muted. Shit.
Oh dear, we do like a tea spilling incident or coffee. I'm going to go with the Patriots as well. Cardinals versus the Jaguars.
No one should have to think on it. Like, no one should.
This would be the upset of the season.
This would be a serious trap game.
And that would be amazing.
Yeah. I'm going to just say I'm taking the Cardinals because there's no way in hell that Jaguars beat the Cardinals.
I think we all can agree.
Chandler Jones is going to live in that backfield. Him and Trevor Lawrence are going to know everything about each other by the time this game is over.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on the Cardinals. I don't think anyone sees it. And as much as we need, being 49ers fans, John, Dion, we need a break to, help the Niners, obviously.
I just don't see it.
The Cardinals.
We would love to see a divisional loss, but a loss is a loss to any one of our division opponents. But I just don't think Jacksonville and a very uncapable Urban Meyer in the NFL. He represented Ohio State with nothing but finesse. But then he came to the NFL, and I feel like, the look on his face week in, week out tells me that I don't even know if he knows what the fuck is going on.
Oh, no, I was saying before you jumped in, John, that I feel like he, by the end of the year, is going to be looking at that SC job.
Oh, he'll have an illness, and then he's
because
take a step away from the NFL, and he'll be the head coach.
Yeah, and I was saying he has to step away the way that Nick Saban did in Miami. That way, he'll be respected, and he might have an open door back to the NFL. But if he
did it from Florida to Ohio State,
if he pulls,
he did it from Ohio State now to the NFL, same shit.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't know how to lose, man. And I don't know what the fuck he's telling them, because I can guarantee you in those meetings they're all looking at him like, "Coach, we need something motivational," and he's like, "Yeah, stop losing."
Yeah, we're millionaires already, bro. What do we do from here, man? Like, I need you to help me extend my career, if not here, somewhere else, bro. Like, you need to coach this team, man. Like, we are not collegiate players, man. We got the bag, bro. What do we do from here, man? I want a contract extension somewhere.
Why do you think, and obviously brought up Nick Saban, coaches like Meyer and Saban don't work in the NFL? Is it purely based on the fact that all through college they've won. They haven't lost. They don't know how to lose. They don't know how to motivate. What is it that when they take the step up, what is it that makes them be so bad as an NFL coach? Carl, have you got any thoughts?
Some college coaches, they can come up to the NFL level. We have seen it. Matt Rule is a prime example. He overrid the Temple University of Temple. They were such a bad organization at the time. He got them back to winning ways. Then he went to Baylor, who was even more of a dumpster fire, and really proved to be his worth. Now he's at Carolina, and he's now working his magic there. College coaches can come to the NFL level. They can be really good, but it's only a certain few. But you've got to have. Urban Meyer was one of those coaches. I kind of thought that he's really, really good at college, but at the NFL level, I think Dion has hit the nail on the head there. He's been built around winning all the time. Now he's in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who pretty much by the end of this weekend will go 0-3. It's not used to. It's like a shock to the system, and I don't know if he's actually got the mentality to override that. If he doesn't, you need to say something and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and if you're going to go from college to the pros, you can't come in thinking you're the shit and you know it all. And just because you've been good in college, now all of a sudden you're going to be good and win in the NFL. It's a different game. It's a different level. The shit that got you by and made you the man in college isn't gonna make you the man in the NFL. You got to be humble. You got to come in. You got to be willing to adapt, change, learn. Admit that you don't know it all, and that it's not going to be as easy as you thought it was going to be, for sure.
Thing is, of course, as well, with stepping up from college to the NFL level, the players are obviously better in the NFL. And if you go into a bad situation, like with the Jaguars, who seem to self-destruct every year and have been self-destructing since that season when the Niners played them and they made the playoffs. You must know what you're getting into before you do it. Or is it a case of, here's $1 gazillion, just coach us? It doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. You don't take on a shit team and think all of a sudden, you're gonna go in there as Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, whoever, and you've always won, and you're just going to step in and you're still going to win, because that doesn't happen. And as you say, they're probably, if it does go due south this year for him, as you say, he'll probably get it, well, not injury, an illness or something, and step away, and then all of a sudden he's announced as another head coach in college with a big team. And that season that he had with the Jags and Saban with Miami, etc., is forgotten about. John, what do you think? Why do you think it is?
I feel like it's like collegiate player and collegiate coach are on the same level going into the NFL. They're both equals. Like Urban Meyer was making almost $8 million at Ohio State. And he stood to come. He was seeking somewhere around 11 or 12 to be the coach for the Jaguars. I feel like you're making money hand over fist as a college coach, and you're dominating the sport. What is it? What do you need? Is that the next step in that hierarchy of earning money? Like, is that a challenge that you need? Do you need to try to prove to yourself that you can go to the NFL and compete? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand what you gain.
I'm sorry to butt in. Sorry, John. I'm sorry to butt in, but there's just been some breaking news. Steelers have just announced TJ Watt is out against the Bengals this weekend.
Wow.
That's just been confirmed.
Okay, so was he injured that game also?
Yes.
He was injured in the previous game.
Yeah, so that's huge. I don't know, Nick. I think what do you got to prove to yourself? What is it that you need? So Urban came here to the Jaguars. Granted, guys like Kingsbury, right? He was a college coach. Didn't he coach your boy Mahomes?
Yep.
Cliff. So it's like he's being carried by talent at an NFL level. Because I don't really think he's creative. I actually think that the Cardinals carry this dude. They carry him. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know what changed them. But I believe that a college coach coming into the NFL reminds me of a collegiate player, a rookie. Same thing.
I think the Urban Meyer thing is one, money, because that's usually what it always comes down to is more money, and two, where the hell else is the guy going to fucking go? He's been to every major college team in the country and left. You know what
he
I mean?
left. He left on illness, man, and then he got better. And then I guess like he thought, let me challenge myself at the NFL level. Let me be the coach of the like he wanted to apply for the shittiest team and try to coach them up. Bro, they're still a shit team.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
I'm not sure that an experienced NFL coach could coach them up.
And sick
That's
of
the
getting
thing
ass kicked
with them. He's taken over a dumpster fire that is still a dumpster fire, and probably for the next 3 years will be that way.
Travis Etienne, right? That dude's hurt. That hurt them right out the gate. I actually thought that could change the dynamic of that team. It could win a few.
They've got players.
Travis Etienne was scheduled to be the third down back. He was scheduled to be the third down back. James Robinson was always going to be number one.
That's right.
Robinson was always going to be number one.
I forgot about Robinson.
Etienne's a badass. He was going to be good. But they still got good players. They got Marvin Jones. They got DJ Chark. Their problem is their line is atrocious. They don't protect Lawrence. Same shit with the Jets. Like they don't protect him. They don't give him a good chance.
Is it too soon to say that the Jags could win a few? Maybe spoil a few later on in the season?
Yes.
Could they pick up the pace?
I think they could.
Could the game slow down for Lawrence that he can make up for that? I mean, he's mobile, right?
He is.
I mean, you're going to have to use your legs if you can't get the protection you need. I mean, Mahomes did it.
It's not too early, but the early returns are bad.
Don't spill that coffee, John V.
No. I was just taking a shot at Mahomes running around the Super Bowl, man. That's all. I was just having fun.
We don't want another spill incident. Okay, let's move on games again. WTF versus the Bills. Dion.
Man. No, I'm taking Buffalo. Better offense. Defense. Both defenses are very solid, but I don't know much of Taylor Heineke outside of Chase Young screaming his name in the playoffs last year. And I mean, you can't expect that kid to come in and just shred the Buffalo Bills defense. They're too solid. Buffalo.
JV.
Dude, I am on the Heineke fucking hype train. I love this dude as a backup. I think he's risky. He takes shots that most backups wouldn't. He was throwing in some coverages that were suspect. He was completing passes. He gives them as good of a chance as Fitzpatrick, in my opinion. I think that Washington pulls away with this one, man. I think the front seven frustrates Brian. I think Allen struggles against Chase Young and a hungry defensive line. I think it'll be close, but I believe that Washington is going to make a game of this, and we're going to be talking about it next week.
Interesting. Scott.
I was kind of leaning thinking about it while those guys were making their picks, but I want to see John do the lone wolf. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm taking the Bills.
Am I going to do the lone wolf? Maybe Carl and Nick are on my maybe they think that there's a shot.
I don't think so.
No?
We'll see. Carl.
John, I love you, mate. You know that. But even me, who wants the Bills to suck so badly, even I can't pick them. Washington's defense have been appalling the first two games. We saw what the Bills did to the Dolphins last week. They taxidermied them. So I got to take the Bills.
I think the Dolphins are just offensively mismanaged, dude. I think the offensive coordinator should be fired and thrown out in the dumpster. Dude, I think Tua never really gave that team a fair shot. I believe they were just being fair to Tua, giving him his opportunity to take their helm and play because they mishandled and created nothing but catastrophe last year with that quarterback switcheroo. I think it's still too early for everything, brother, right? It's only week 3. I mean, we can't make excuse. We can't say in week 6, it's only week 6. But I think in week 3, week 4, that's it, man. Like, you either get it together, you create that identity, or you don't. You know, we don't know who the Dolphins are yet. We don't know who Washington is under Heineke, right? So I'm pulling for a Washington upset. That's all. And maybe that defensive line pulls it together versus the Bills. You know, you play up to your opponent, or you play down to your opponent, right?
Yeah. Well, unless you're the Steelers and you do play down your competition, but you know,
I think that's year in, year out.
Well, and that's every team, right? Too, like John, you're saying. I mean, look at the Saints. They waxed Green Bay week 1, and then
they get waxed by Carolina,
and looked terrible against Carolina. The Ravens lose to the damn Raiders and then beat the Chiefs. So
but who are the Raiders? See, that's an identity yet that we can't. That the Raiders are winning, Raiders, I like the Raiders, but they're competitive under Derek Carr, man. I think he's seeing the game a different way.
John, you know who the Raiders are.
I do.
They're going to win, and then they're going to fuck it up in the end. They do this every year. They destroy their fan base because they come out. The Raiders will be 6-2. And you know what they're gonna wind up? 9-8.
7-10.
7-10.
That's better than I would have thought.
Scott, you know this all too well. They're in your division. Do they not do this bullshit continuously?
Marty Schottenheimer always said it best about the Raiders. He said, "Just hang in there and let the Raiders screw it up and blow it at the end." He said, "Just hang in there. The Raiders are always going to choke it away."
It's just like Stephen A. says about the Cowboys. There's a black cat running around that franchise, and what can go wrong will go wrong.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
Alfred, you have a very, very precarious look on your face. I need you to speak, sir.
I just don't know whether I can get John to do a lone wolf and let his doggy
do a lone wolf, brother,
in the background, because it'll be hilarious, especially if the dog loses its shit in the background and John spills his coffee again.
Probably just look at.
Well, that'd be great if the dog joined him in the lone wolf.
That's very true, and he does. His dog has spoken on this show previously.
Only about the Seahawks, bro.
Yeah. John, you see John in the background.
This is a very interesting game. Very interesting game. I like Washington's defense. They haven't, I don't think, shown their full potential. Josh Allen and the Bills started rolling again. I don't know. Fuck it. Washington. Sorry, John. No, I'll get you. I will get you.
Who did Washington play last week? Who did Heineke beat?
Giants.
I think it was the Giants.
They beat the Giants, right?
Giants. Yeah, that was a nail biter too.
Who did they have week 1?
Print the T-shirts.
Washington out the Chargers.
Wow.
Week 1, yeah, but they lost to the Chargers. They lost.
Yeah, they did.
And it's nice to see we have 2 burner accounts for Scott in this week.
The Kingdom Cast
and Mahomes the GOAT. So he's got 2 burner accounts. He's working hard getting those burners in here. And Kingdom Cast, thanks for your comment. You can actually just say fuck because I don't care. So you can say fuck.
No, that's my brother and that's my buddy, Bo.
Just saying.
Bo's running the new show's Twitter thing, watching. He's been tuning in the last few weeks. They got jealous, man. They saw me on here doing the Shank Club, and they wanted to start something up. So, yeah, that's my buddy, Bo.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's good. That's good for the Chiefs, man. That's great. I like seeing you guys.
Kingdom Cast, follow us on Twitter. We'll get you on here as well because I know Scott gets lonely. And then we have 2 people to say that
he has
the chokehold specialists hold all the time. So that's fine. Jets Broncos. Anyone picking the Jets?
No.
No.
Fucking Jets.
No. Dolphins versus the Raiders. Fuck the Raiders. Dolphins. Couldn't give a shit. Dolphins. I don't give a shit if the Dolphins bring the under 15 team out. I couldn't give a shit. Dolphins. Cole?
I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry about this, mate, but I'm afraid you've got to put some respect on their name because they're actually playing a damn sight better than what anyone anticipated them to. So I'm taking the Raiders to beat the Dolphins.
I'm not going to fault you for it, bro. Not right now.
The optimism
Smart.
dies after
Dion's
Sunday.
not wrong, but they're gonna pack a few wins where they can get them, man, and they're gonna finish. They won't make the playoffs.
No, fuck. This
Scott.
is
Although Derek Carr hurt his ankle, do we know if he's solid yet? He had an injury last game, I believe.
I think he'll be all right. He's not questionable, I don't think.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard nothing that states that he would be out.
He's been a
I'll
fucking
just-
solid DraftKings pick. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say that.
in my best Chris Berman impersonation, we're gonna take the Raiders. Yeah, they're gonna win that game. There's no way in hell. Like Dolphins don't even have fucking Tua. Like I feel bad for Devontae Parker because he's there wasting away in Miami. They're a defensive team. Their offense is trash, and unless they turn into the
Right.
fucking Ravens, they're not winning
He
shit.
cried for that money. He wanted the
Okay.
bag, Dion. He wanted the bag. They were competitive. He put the buggy
Scott?
before the horse.
Oh yeah, no, I'm picking the Dolphins. This is a classic Raiders loss right here, man. You start 2-0. You're tied for first place in the division. You actually got a leg up on the Chiefs for 5 or 6 days or whatever the hell it's been. They'll fuck it up. Dolphins.
You should get
John?
You should get a T-shirt saying that this is a classic loss.
John?
Carl?
Carl already chose. He chose the Raiders. I choose the
I chose-
Raiders too. I think they win. I think that the offense in Miami is just, fucking stagnant.
So everyone's got the Raiders at the moment, right? Or
No,
cool.
Scott picked the
No.
Dolphins.
I got
Scott the
I'm
Dolphins
picking the
because
Dolphins.
reason.
As much as I want to see Carl, sorry, not Carl. I want to see Mr. Smug do another lone wolf because that was a highlight. I can't, so I have to pick Miami because I can't pick the Raiders. I just cannot pick the fuck the Raiders. Fuck 'em.
Scott
Hate
has to pick the Dolphins because reasons.
No, I'm telling you, the Raiders. The Raiders. If there was ever a Raiders loss, this is it right here.
It's an interdivision thing, man. It works.
It is. I know how it is. I know how it feels right now.
Now, are we going to be revoking some 49ers fan cards for this next game? It's going to be interesting. Seahawks, Vikings. I'm not even going to speak. You know what apart from fuck the Seahawks. Dion, what do you think?
Took me a second to get through this, man. And I'm actually going to read you just something really quick from what I put on my show about this game, strictly because I felt like it was pretty hilarious. Let me see here. Next game. So the Seahawks coming off a tough loss to the Titans where King Henry went wild on that defense. Could the Vikings steal the coin turn for Russell Wilson and turn it into let cook? Or will the Seahawks say, correction, it's let Russ cook, and he does so with TDs for Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf all over the place? We shall see. For this game, I'm taking the Vikings to finally get over the hump and turn this game into a W. In their 2 games, Minnesota has lost 2 in a row by slim margins of 4 points. Literally just frustration. Skull clap in your face.
Wow.
John.
Shit.
They lost their
crap.
first game by 3 points. They lost their second game by 1. They are looking like us in 2017 when Kyle first got here. They've got to get over the hump at some point.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, it takes a few. Like, it's week 3, man, and I hate to talk down on week 3 because I feel like you should have it all together by now. But I feel like the Vikings could potentially. The NFC plays well, bro. Right? We always play each other well. Out of division, it's always a game. And not for nothing, dude. They almost beat the Cardinals if they didn't whiff that shitty ass field goal. So
yeah, they got flashbacks to Gary Anderson from 1999 again, didn't
1999 for sure, dude. But I mean, let's be honest here. What do you guys? So Dion, let me get this right. You're taking the Vikings to beat the Hawks, right?
Yes.
I think I am too, man. And I think it's going to be another game. I think it's going to be a close game like it was in was that at Arizona?
No, I think it's in Minnesota.
No, I'm saying when they played the Cardinals. Was that at Arizona or at Minnesota?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Hold on.
Regardless, I guess it doesn't really make a difference.
Scott?
Yeah, I'm going to take Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett and Seahawks, man. Dude, the Vikings, okay, here's the deal. Vikings, I don't give a shit. They should take a field goal kicker in the first fucking round of the draft next year. I do not ever remember a team losing more games on missed field goals than the Vikings. Do you guys? I mean, it seems like every year they lose at least 2 or 3 games on a missed field goal. Every fucking year. But
the look on what's his name's face every time it happens is exactly the same.
Right.
Dude, he looks like he just wants to go out there and just fucking stab him, dude.
And how have you not fixed that shit by now? So
Yeah, the game, John, both of their first games are just like us. They were on the road. So they lost both those games on the road, and they're finally back home. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll continue to hype this young kid up. If anyone in the NFL needs a kicker, there is a young kid with a YouTube channel with millions of followers. His name is Destroying. His name is Donald fucking De La Haye. The kid can kick the shit out of the ball. He can punt. He can kick. He can do both. You can hire this kid, and you don't need a punter. He'll do both. He is that damn good. If you guys do not know who Destroying is, look him up. DEE and literally Destroying, Stroying. Vikings, if you need a kicker, if you watch this and this is all you get from it, oh my God, that kid can kick.
What do you have to lose?
If Robbie Gold went down and we signed him, I would not be mad at all.
Dion, I understand what you mean by destroy, okay? He can kick long-range field goals. But the Vikings can't even kick a fucking chip shot.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That's true. But that's what I'm saying. So if you have a shit kicker that can't even kick a chip shot, and this guy can kick a fucking 60-yarder in the wind, because every kick that when he does kicks, he doesn't do basic bullshit. He does challenging kicks that he would have to face in the NFL outside of there being an actual defense coming at him. There's no way in hell this kid is not in the NFL. And when I Am Athlete did their own type of combine, he was there showing off what he can do. But at the end of the day, my bad guys, didn't mean to go on a tangent. We need I guess we need Carl and Nick's pick, but we don't need Nick's pick. We know he's not picking the fucking Seahawks. That's just not going to happen. Like, I don't even know why I even said that. There we go. Skull clap that shit. Skull clap that bitch. There we go, man. I almost feel like I'm in the fucking Michael Jackson.
Where's your white glove?
You look like a belly dancer, bro. Just now.
This guy.
Right, what's the stats for Dalvin Cook currently?
Let's see what's up.
Because
I'm on Minnesota's page right now.
He hasn't practiced all week. He hasn't practiced all week.
Dalvin Cook's no Derrick Henry. Okay, let's not get carried away.
Yeah, he's not. but he's still
despite a little sprain in the right ankle, as classified by Coach Mike Zimmer. Running back Dalvin Cook will play Sunday against the Seahawks versus in the Vikings' first game, U.S. Bank Stadium, 636 freaking days. Dalvin Cook is active. He is.
But he's probably going to be limited if that ankle is.
He will be.
He could re-injure that easily.
But you like how I did that? Will they let Cook cook, or will they let Russ?
Yes. Every time they let Russ cook, he burns shit, bro. So
he does. He burns. Yeah, and DK Metcalf is burning your ass down the field along with him.
He burns cornflakes.
Burning cornflakes. This shit.
On this basis, though, I'm going to take Seattle to win this game. Minnesota just do not have any luck at all with this against the Seahawks.
It's going to be interesting, but I'm never picking those fucking Seahawks. This next game is really quite interesting for a lot of reasons. Rams, Buccaneers, Rams with
game of the
new
week.
QB in there, you know, an elite defense and all that sort of jazz. Are we going to see a classic, Carl, or is it going to be low score? What do you think? Bucks, Rams.
I think we're going to see a classic game. And I'm going to have the Buccaneers to win to eke this out by a field goal. Reasoning why I say I'm choosing the Bucks instead of the Rams is because the last thing I want my Patriots to have next week is Brady to come into back to Foxborough before coming off a loss. That's the worst Tom Brady to go up against. So I'm going to say the Bucks to beat the Rams here. And also, the Rams beat the Bucks last year. So Brady hasn't forgotten about that. So I've got the Bucks winning that game.
Either way, next week, Brady is lighting up Belichick's arse. I don't give a shit what happens.
Yeah,
he's
100%.
gonna fucking take it to the man. Scott.
I'm going with the Rams. The Rams look damn good with Matthew Stafford at quarterback and that defense and Cooper Kupp. That dude, they're loaded, man. Higbee's a good tight end. They got good players. The Buccaneers, the Buccaneers defense, man. They kind of got lit up a little bit by the Cowboys, and then the Falcons put 30 something on them last week, right? I mean,
28.
No,
28. I'm taking the Rams all day.
JV.
I'm with Scott, man. I'm taking the Rams. I think McVay's system with Stafford in it right now, with all those playmakers and a stout defense. We know Brady's going to get rid of the ball, so Aaron Donald doesn't crush him. But this is game of the week in my opinion, and I believe that it's going to be a good one, a real good one. Close, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how close. Maybe a touchdown. But I got the Rams winning this, man. I think they're going to look. I think they're going to look damn good. Damn good. Stafford's settling into that system quite nicely, and it's really making me fucking nervous.
Deal.
Stafford's a good quarterback.
He is, man. He really is. Oh, I always thought so.
For me, since they're in our division, I'm going to have to say this. Fuck the Rams. The Bucks are going to win. It will be a close game. The Bucks have given up in their both respective games 25 and I believe 29 points. So they'll go ahead and they'll probably, give that up. But the Bucks are the better offense in my mind. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are no fucking Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And Gronk is better than any other tight end outside of George Kittle or Travis Kelce.
But I think Higbee right now, Higbee's probably the better pass catcher between the two.
No.
No.
Gronk is not Gronk without Brady.
We have not seen
but it doesn't make it. That's the point. He has Brady. Are you serious? He has Brady right now. There's no way in hell you can tell me Tyler Boyd is anywhere near Gronk. Anywhere.
We have We have not seen this Gronkowski since 2017. Let's put that into
There it is.
perspective.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
They lit up the Cowboys and the Falcons. Big shit.
It doesn't matter. It's the connection is there. I know they played teams with shit defenses. At the end of the day, the connection still has to be there. If that's the case, when the Jaguars play the fucking Houston Texans or something, they should light them up. But they might lose that game just because they're trash. At the end of the day,
let me ask you guys this: who do they lose to? The Bucs aren't going to have a perfect slate, dude. This isn't. They're not going to go into this like 2010.
Okay, I have their
Tom Brady
I have their schedule up against the Rams.
They were a wild card team last year.
Against the Rams, it's a possible loss. You never know what Belichick can pull off when he goes into New England. You don't know. You never know.
Please don't give me Dion, stop right, Dion, stop right there. Do not give me false optimism, please.
Hey, listen to me.
Carl's
This is what I'm saying, and I'm not going to go on long. It's very simple. You know what Brady can and cannot do. Absolutely. You've been with that guy for God knows how long. You know him in and out. Even if, he went into the office and cried like a fucking little girl because he wanted Jimmy G gone, and Rodney Harrison told him on national television to pull his skirt down, and everybody looked like they didn't know what the fuck just happened, and they thought, somebody ran across the screen naked or some shit. You know Tom Brady better than anyone. You know how to pick, you know how to fuck with him. You know how to get him out of his head, out of his zone. It's easy for you to go in there. Or if you want to beat Tom Brady, just do the same thing the damn Giants did. Call Steve Spagnuolo. Call him. Spags, how'd you do it? What was your method of madness to beat Tom Brady? And he'll give it to you. There's a formula to make him lose games. And Belichick would know that better than anyone.
Nick's all on you.
I'm worried about the Rams.
Good, because
but I'm picking the Bucs because we need teams to do us a favor. That's my summation of it. The other three teams in that division, in the NFC West,
the NFC best,
are scary as fuck.
I just want to get a sweatshirt that says NFC best.
Whoever's in as QB for the Niners, and we aren't going to speak about Lance, and we're not today, but that is scary as fuck. The way the other teams are playing. Yes, Russ cooked and choked, which is fucking hilarious. Seahawks. They lost. It was fucking wonderful. I fucking love it when the Seahawks lose. But yeah, Buccaneers for me.
Chicago disrupted Brady and made him forget what down it was. They beat them 20-19. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
If you pressure Brady, and you're an average team, there you go. Khalid's right.
Yeah.
Pressure.
And more pressure.
Right. Dude couldn't have said it better at the right time. So that's an average team. The Bears were an average team getting pressure, and the Rams can bring pressure with a damn good secondary. Ramsey's back there hungry for whatever reason, dude. He's due for a big game. I'm telling you, man. You take away Godwin or you take away Mike Evans. You take one of those weapons away, and you got yourself a badass ball game. And I'm telling you, I think we see the Rams get pressure on Brady, and we could see Brady just muff this shit. Might not even be close.
It's definitely 100% going to be a good game, and I've seen it's a 9:25 in the UK, and I was going to miss the second game and get up for Sunday night football, but you know what? I might have to stay up and watch that and then watch the Niners. Right.
It's going to be a barn burner.
Eagles versus the Cowgirls. How the fuck this got Monday night football? Fuck knows.
Fuck is in my coffee?
Weird. Weird.
He's got loose plaster falling from the
I'm
ceiling.
like, dude,
Right.
why does that taste like? What does that taste?
He said, "What the fuck is in my coffee?"
It tastes like shit. It does taste like shit.
Primer or what?
I'm surprised how. Well, no, I won't say surprised how. What's the word I can choose? The Eagles blew that game against the Niners by being overconfident and fucking trying a Philly special on that defense, which was
Hilarious. That was hilarious.
Absolutely ridiculous. And they couldn't disguise it, or they tried to disguise it, and it was obvious. I can't pick the Cowboys because I hate them. I can't. And I think it's going to be a shit fest, but I'm going for the Eagles. Carl?
I'm taking the Cowboys in this one. Me and Nick Ludlam were the only two that picked the Cowboys to beat the Chargers last week. And I think it is a divisional game. But I'm not impressed with what the Eagles are showing me right now. They're just not. And I know Jalen Hurts has been playing out of his mind. But I think it's just a bad team, and I think the Cowboys right now, they're much better. So I'm going to take Dallas.
Yeah, what were the Eagles doing with the Phillies? Dude, after the Super Bowl, you fucking framed that play and you put it up on the wall next to the Super Bowl trophy, and that's it. It's done.
Philly special?
Yeah, that was fucking dumb.
What you actually do is you get that picture, you frame it, and put it next to Rocky's statue, because that's where it belongs. And yeah, I saw that, and obviously, Niner fan, I was like, why are you trying that shit? Because it was so telegraphed. Hurts didn't even leak out like Nick Foles did to be all alone. And they were ready for something like that. And you think, well, that's got to be in people's minds that they're going to try this shit, whoever's in there.
Sure.
And it did. It mystified. Scott, you're right. It mystified me why they would try
that
again.
Dude, that's yeah, man. You use that once, and then you hang it up on the wall, and it's legend. That was dumb. The Cowboys. Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are that good. That they kind of came out and whooped up on someone, whoever the hell it was, week 1, and everybody thought, oh, maybe the Eagles are. They're still not that good. The Cowboys, Dak and company, they're better than the Eagles. They'll win that game.
JV.
I'm going to roll with the Cowboys, man. Although I'm a little bit upset that Zeke has lost a step and Pollard is he's the back in my eyes, really. I think the Cowboys
bring that up, John. Actually, that a lot of people are saying that Pollard is now RB1.
He just looks way more explosive.
Has just been unZeke.
Yep. I mean, look, they ran Zeke like a dog. His best years are behind him, and I hate to say it. I really believe that. I feel like he's slowed down. And
Jerry gave him all that money.
Running back depreciate. Running back.
Dion, remember what you said? I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Spent too much time in Cabo or something.
Yeah, man. Too much time in Cabo. Too much time being fucking high. That's what it was.
Running backs depreciate like stones.
I mean, what? The shelf life is what? 4 or 5 years, right? Right?
No, it all depends. It depends. Like your shelf life can be 4 or 5 years if you're a basic back. But if you're actually a good back, you can extend your life to at least about a good 10 to 12. It all depends. Look at Frank Gore; he's still going.
Yeah, those are the all-time greats. Though.
Dude, there's a sample. They don't cut. They're cut from a different mold.
That's what I said. Yeah, if you're the right type of person. I mean, that's just work ethic in general. you know, when it comes
the
to
last
work
10
ethic,
years,
proper
though,
body maintenance, all of the things you need
last
to
10
do.
years, Dion, I think Frankie Gore is probably the only back we can say that about. I think in the last 10 years, 4 or 5 years, for some of the most explosive backs, that their best years were 4 and 5 years, right? So, I mean, I don't know, man. Let's just see. Look at Leonard Fournette. He's still kind of he still has moments, and he was bomb.com, right? I don't know. I'm going to take the Cowboys on this one. I think they win.
Dion?
I'm gonna play you a little sound bite.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, buddy, I'm taking them.
Jimmy
I am
Johnson.
taking the boys to go ahead and pull this W off. There's no, I don't see the Eagles winning this game. I looked at everything. I just think that the stronger offense is in Dallas, and Dak's a way better quarterback than Jalen Hurts is at this point in his career. So I can see that happening. Yeah, Cowboys, be careful, baby. Don't trip over that.
Does that mean I'm lone wolfing because I hate the
Yes,
fucking
you
Cowboys?
are. Yes, you are.
Let us
Yes,
hear it, Rick.
you're thinking with your heart.
Fuck Jerry Jones and fuck the Cowboys.
Suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Right. The game of the week. Aaron, dirty, tramp, greasy-haired Rodgers versus the 49ers in their throwback uniforms, which are a thing of beauty. And I've got to
they
buy
are a
one
thing of
because
beauty.
they are a thing of beauty. Carl, Niners, Packers.
Look at that look. Look at Carl's face right now. He's ready to shit all over us.
Aaron Rodgers is 5-6 against the San Francisco 49ers all time. He is 0-3 against them in the playoffs.
It's okay.
I know the 49ers running back group is completely and utterly decimated, but I believe you have got Eli Mitchell and Trey Sermon coming in. So
They are
it's not
healthy. They
all-
will be playing.
They will be playing.
And the dude we signed off the Bungles practice squad, don't forget.
Fun fact there from resident GM Tony from Nothing But Niners. Listen, Jaquez Patrick came from the Bengals, who is now coached by Zach Taylor, who was a former assistant of McVay in that system. So if Jaquez Patrick makes his way from the practice squad onto the 53 for whatever reason, look for a big look. You guys got to watch that dude's preseason for the Bengals. Huge dude, 200 to over like 240. I forget what is tall, huge, and this dude, I mean, he's powerful. Jaquez Patrick came from McVay, came from Zach Taylor, who was a former assistant of Sean McVay. That is why those interconnections that Kyle, you see how we find guys, you see where we pick and choose. We stick to the system, the scheme. It's all interconnected, right? Don't know if the guy will ever see it down, but he looks phenomenal. At least for a practice squad player, this guy is solid. So if Mitchell is questionable, but like, I don't know, do we really need to bang him up anymore? That's the other thing too. Mitchell's banged up. One good hit, that dude could be out again, right? So Mitchell and Sermon are like iffy, right? So Hasty's got a high ankle. I mean, right now, dude, everything hinges on the run game, because if the run game is there, then the passing game is there. But if it's going to be a fucking rocky run game, I don't know. Look to see Jaquez Patrick get some carries, maybe. Let's hope.
I
Dude
think he's going to be up on the 53 personally, but
He looks
we'll see.
fucking sick.
Carl,
Yep.
who did you pick? Sorry.
I am taking the 49ers to knock off the Packers
Woo!
on Sunday Night Football. I think the Niners same game plan against the Packers from 2 years ago in the NFC Championship. And I think this defense is going to give Rodgers kittens.
Kittens.
Scott,
Like you'll have kittens.
look, get ready for the Packers pick. It's obvious he's picking the Packers. It's obvious. You don't even need to say it.
What?
But
The,
Yeah, you can see it in his face. Like he's listening to everybody. He's like, I can't wait for my turn.
Maybe
First of all,
not.
What does give him the kittens mean? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have kittens. Like
That's a British
Nick,
saying, obviously.
It's a
Carl, you
British
need
saying,
to
as in he's
explain.
going to give him, as he is going to cause him major problems.
I
Okay.
love it.
Okay.
You will, there's another term of phrase as well, giving them fits.
There you
It's
go.
another- it's
Dude,
an-
I
it's
can't
another-
wait to use this term. I'm giving.
Yeah, I know. I'm saving that one away. I'm going to use that one myself.
I did.
That's a good point too. That may be Trey. This may be Trey's opportunity to move to expand the offense right there. Didn't think of it.
The saving grace for the 49ers, if there is one, it's going to be that defensive line, and it's going to be pressuring and trying to make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable. I'm worried, dude. I'm worried about the Niners after that game against the Eagles, man. I don't think the Eagles are that good. And if it wasn't for a fluke wide open touchdown, you guys would have got blanked in the opening half, man. And the Lions, they were up early in that game. I'm not going to overreact to that freakish comeback thing that the Lions did, but
They did that to Green Bay too.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. I don't, man.
Road games are tricky, bro. Week
They
1 and
are.
week 2 are fluky games on the road, man. They're
I
kind of
understand
weird,
that.
right?
I understand it, but the injury situation, you all are getting hammered again this year. The secondaries, you guys are taking hits. Your running game is going through a meat grinder. You got guys hurt there.
They won't get a priest or a witch doctor. They won't
But
do it. They just won't do it.
I'm rolling with the Packers in this game.
God damn it, Scott.
I
Jesus
just
Christ.
and I don't say I'm like 60-40 Packers in this game.
I pick your
I'm
fucking
not
Chiefs all the
supreme-
time. I even give
You're
you credit even where it's not
You're
fucking due. Even when you took years off the back end of my lifeline, I still give them fucking credit.
I'm
We might
not
as well just
supremely
cut
confident.
to the chase and say, Scott,
Just a kick
you're
in the
lone
dick.
wolfing, motherfucker.
Yeah, he
How
went on
dare
that
you.
fucking diatribe for
Yeah.
God knows
Yeah,
how
yeah,
long. He was picking the
took
goddamn
you
Packers.
picked me up in the
The reason
Cadillac,
his
dude.
name, the
You
reason
took
his
me
name
out
is
to a
Mr.
nice dinner.
Smug is because he always
Scott.
has a smug look. It's obvious.
Scott, you make me sick. You make me so sick for that pick. You even make Captain Factfuck look sympathetic.
Oh, are you a Niners fan?
And
son,
I
big
even
brother?
picked the Chiefs this week to win, you motherfucker. And you're
I
going
so
against
did
the
I.
Niners, against that
I
greasy
know you
tramp.
did. We throwing
Kick
the
us in
flag
the
off.
fucking ball.
I've just thrown the flag at you, incompetence.
I just think Aaron
shit.
Rodgers and the Packers are gonna be just a little bit too much. That's all. I'm
Yeah,
not supremely confident about it.
I hope we win, dude. I'm gonna hoof kick you right in the balls next week. Just backwards, just hoof kick you right in the nuts. You took me out and showered me with flowers, and then you shit on me. Goddamn.
Okay, no, John, you know what this means.
What?
You need to get Mr. Smug on the locker room rant.
Oh, without a doubt.
You need him there. Oh, look. Have you checked out the locker room rant,
Oh,
Scott?
he's there, dude. He's in the chat
Yeah.
every week.
Bro, you got
Dude,
it's
I
fucking
fucked it. I look-
hilarious.
This isn't just because John's my one of my boys from here, but I legitimately look forward to that show every week, man.
I do
Good,
too.
man.
It's
Oh
good.
God, it's
good.
the beauty of it is
Definitely
they
a
talk
great
football
show.
like we talk football here.
Right.
They don't
Yeah.
give a shit. And
Shit.
that's the beauty of the channel. Like we can say what we want to say, and nobody's over there like, hey, you can't say that, and you can't say this, and we
Right,
have to be
right,
very PC.
right.
It's like, man, screw all that shit. They
Just
put
tabletop.
who's your boy you put in a box all the fucking time?
Nick.
Nick. Oh
Yeah.
God,
Nico.
poor
It's
guy
Nico,
spends so much time in timeout. I don't even think he remembers if he's a part of the show when he comes back.
It is definitely a great watch. I have to say, I don't watch it live because it's on at fucking stupid o'clock, but I do always.
Yeah, it is.
One of the shows.
Well,
I
Tony.
subscribe
Well,
to, I
Tony's been
subscribe
trying.
to
Well,
be
Tony's
on.
been. Well, Tony has been trying to get me on. I think last week
Every
during my
week.
live stream, he's been trying to get me on. I might be able to this. I might be able to, but it depends.
You know, Nick from how do you say his last name? Nick Ludlam.
Ludlam.
He spent the entire 2 hours and 24 minutes with us. Dude, he stayed up till like 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, laughing his balls off. We were just chopping it up about everything.
It's getting.
Have you caught the show that Nick and I did on Wednesday with his new background that he had?
Yes.
He had the Jimmy G. Well, he had Rocky, but he had Jimmy G's face on it. It was hilarious.
The only criticism I got, John, of the show is you got the wrong name. It should be called My Big Fat Greek Sports Podcast or something. You got bastards in there.
Dude, we struggled. We were just like the rant. We go on rants, so we just like the locker room rant was just it was just a good call. It took us 2.5 weeks to figure it out, man. We were like it was awful. But shit, it's good fun, time, man.
It's good.
Cool. Okay, one more last question before we have our final thoughts. I've got a little over and under for you. Trey Lance. 7 plays. Over or under, Carl?
Under.
Scott?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go the under.
John?
Man, that's a good one. That's a fucking goodie, Nick. I guess it would be dependent on how well he did in his first rep. So I'm gonna. So if I pick 7, it's the over, right?
That's a push.
That's the push.
So
that's why you always pick 6.5 or 7.5 for over unders. But that's all right.
Yeah.
Not in Britain. We do what we fucking want, Scott. And it's my
you
show,
guys,
so shut up. 7.
All right, I'm gonna say. Fuck it. I'm gonna say over. Let's see it. If the running game's banged up, let's say over. Let's see. We see more Trey Lance. We could see more Trey Lance. Fuck it. Over.
Dion.
Under.
Do you
It's just
think
strictly based. It's just based on the fact that Kyle Shanahan, I believe, is trying to push Jimmy G's trade value upward. Right now, you can barely get a 3rd-round pick for him, maybe a 4th, and somebody will probably scoff at you and give you a 5th and a 6th for the guy. He can't stay healthy. They want to keep pushing him. From what Hobby said from the 4th and Goal podcast, from a reliable source in the building, they say that Trey is having issues with read progression. But you're not going to learn read progression on the fucking practice field. You need to just put him out there and stop bullshit. Jimmy G played like hot garbage and hot shit on the stick in the previous game. At the end of the day, you must put him out there. If you saw what we did with the Raiders in week 3, the run game is super dynamic with him in the offense. You're not going to get that with Jimmy Garoppolo. But, I know Callie says over, but my thing is, I don't see it. I see Kyle riding this fucking train of pushing Jimmy G's trade value through the roof, trying to get something for him that he's not. And the only way you're going to get that is a desperate team. Somebody desperate
shot
has
themselves
to come
in the foot, Dion.
They really have.
They have shot themselves in the foot if they want to try to build value. They literally, between John and Kyle, both, that organization has brought down Jimmy's trade value all on their own. They have fucked that up significantly on their own terms. I don't really know how you come back from that. I mean, but good week 1, shitty week 2. I don't know how. I mean, they don't believe in Jimmy, so I don't know how they could convince anybody else that they should.
Yeah, I'm good. Awesome. Sorry about that, man. But, go ahead, Nick.
I'm going under. I think we won't need the running option because I think the running backs we got in there are going to gash like they always do Green Bay, and I don't think if the running game's working and Jimmy's being good, Jimmy, I don't think we need to see a lot of Trey Lance. But it'll be interesting. They may bring him in a few plays, and he may throw it as a decoy type scenario. So we'll see. Right, final thoughts before we get up out of here. Carl, let people know where they can like and subscribe your channel, and any final thoughts going into week 3. But you need to unmute yourself first.
Yeah. Oh, motherfucker!
You can find me at. You can find me at.
You can find me at. What the fuck?
Yes. Yeah, you can find my channel, 2 Feet and Bounds, on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at TFIBUK20. We are now also on Twitch. The channel there is TFIBUK20 as well, all lowercase. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, and all podcast platforms. We are on all major ones, so iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music.
Jesus Christ.
And
Slow down. Jesus.
yeah,
Fuck, he's
and-
working.
I liked him more when he was muted, I have to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, he's
UK
working
Hot
crazy,
Wheels
man.
commercials, Wheel or what?
Yeah, I thought Breezy had fucking shows. God damn.
Yeah, I'm in a slight rush, okay? And the last thing I'll point out is obviously this coming Sunday night, we will be doing a live Sunday night football watch along for the 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. So any 49ers fans, so any of you guys on there, or any Packers fans that are watching or listening, hit us up on Twitter. We will get you on. Me and Freddie will be commentating and co-commentating. It's a fucking damn sight better than what Chris Collinsworth can do. So we will be doing it. So we will be doing it live with your live reaction. So
I can't find you on Twitch. Say it again, and this time say it slowly.
It's his name right there, man, on the screen. The TFIBUK20. It's that one.
It's all it's all lowercase, not capitals. It's lowercase.
Yeah. Open your fucking ears, John. It's too early in the morning for that shit.
Jesus Christ. Speaking like
It was a
Thanksgiving
bit
turkey.
speedy. It was a bit speedy.
I
Mr.
apologize
Smug,
for that. But yeah.
apart from you picking the Packers, let everyone know where they can follow you on Twitter and all that other shit. And any final thoughts?
So you can follow me personally. You see my handles right there at this Mr. Rogers. We did start up here, me and my brother and our buddy from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's actually a converted 49ers to a Chiefs fan as a kid growing up. He was a Joe Montana. He was a he was a Joe Montana fan, and when Joe Montana came to the Chiefs, he started kind of following Chiefs and when we were youngsters, and he's just stayed a Chiefs fan ever since. So it's
tortured him. You fucking tortured him.
The Twitter.
One quick question, Mr. Smug, and to our other American guest. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, we know what that means.
Then that's what your friend is, from going from Joe Montana in the Niners to your mob.
To fucking Trent. Who was it? Trent Green after that? Was that it? Trent Green after Joe Montana?
What's that?
Was it Trent Green after Joe Montana?
Oh, no, it was a long list of Elvis Gerbacks and and then we did get to Trent Green eventually. So, but that Twitter is at the Kingdom Cast. You can follow us on YouTube, same thing. It's obviously Chiefs heavy, but jump in. We do it Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Kingdom Time. If you want to hop in, drop a comment. We do some game picks and we talk about some other shit too. Plug your channel. My final thought is I was thinking about this. I was looking at the standings and they were talking about it that after the loss to the Ravens, the Chiefs are technically in third place, tied with the Chargers in the division. It's the first time since the final week of 2016 that the Chiefs haven't had the lead or a share of the lead in the AFC West for 5 years, man. And when they lost that Ravens game, it was genuinely shocking, that we lost, because you're just so used to them winning and the way they lost. But they're gonna be all right. They got to get some shit figured out on defense. So I know I picked against your boys here this weekend, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be Sunday Night Football. So it's been a lot of fun too, having football back the last couple weeks.
It's it's great. It's great to have football back. Carl's had to hop off, so thanks for coming on, Carl. Appreciate you as ever. John, where can we find your shows? What's your Twitter handle and all that jazz? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Vernus or John V. You can find me at the Locker Room Rant. And you can find me here at the Shant Club. That's it, guys. Let's see what happens. Niners all day.
Absolutely. Dion, where can we find you? What's your podcast? Give it a shout out. Let everyone know.
You guys know me, man. You saw the name, Niner Gang Podcast, number 9, ERGANG Podcast. You can find me on YouTube. You follow me on Twitter. That's at SwiftD. Follow me on Instagram at 49er_Dion. Always dropping content, man. Just dropped a show as far as game picks with a little more in-depth look at them. And you can always find me here, man, on Saturdays with my boys from across the pond in the Chat Club, man. Definitely, if y'all in here, man, hit the subscribe button. These dudes take pride in knowing their football, and it's always good when people from somewhere else can appreciate American football. At the same time, it's always good when it's a Niner fan. You know, we have to unfortunately let these Chiefs fans and these random outsiders in every now and then, but it makes the show better. And without Nick, we wouldn't have this, man. So shout out to you, Nick.
I appreciate that, Dion. I appreciate everyone for watching. Don't forget, we are on Wednesday evenings over here, 7:30 UK, 1:30 Eastern. We are always live on a Saturday, 2:30, 9:30 Eastern. My name is Alfred. You can follow me at Shank Club NFL. My other Twitter account is at We're With Niners, but for some reason I've neglected that for I don't know how long. Well, over a year, but I occasionally pop up on that. Thank you, everyone who watched. Great to have you along. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for being in here. And we will catch you again very, very soon. Stay safe, everyone. Enjoy the games. But most importantly, go Niners. We out. Take care, everyone.